Oh, Bill is okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, it's on your page right now, your YouTube page.
Yeah. Any delay before it? Yeah, there it goes. Now.
We're live.
Okay.
How you guys doing?
We had a bunch of people that have gone to the Tulsa show, and I was thinking that we'd do a after action type of thing. I think we got just about everybody who's been to them, except for Dano, who's out there, and then a couple of other guys that don't really hang out and join into these chats. So I think this is everybody who joins into chats, right? Now we have everybody.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you said, Raph is the only guy really missing.
Oh, that's true. He would normally jump in, but he's traveling. Did you guys hear I got to meet up with Raphael? He went to the Grand Canyon and started coming back east, and I was going west because I went to that cowboy museum. So I was like, I dropped cycle off on Monday, went to the cowboy museum, and then Tuesday headed west. So me and Raph got to meet up in New Mexico and eat dinner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Where'd they think the Grand Canyon?
I think they've all been there before. I think the dad is the only one
okay.
that I couldn't. I don't know. He gave me a thumbs up.
Awesome.
So I don't know. I figured let's just do it, right? Instead of putting it on the calendar and doing it eventually. I guess we could always do it again. But I guess one thing we didn't have is necessarily like an audience of people who have a bunch of questions. There are some people over on the Gun Channel side. I see some new names over there. That's cool. Welcome. Or maybe you're not new and I just don't recognize the names, then whatever. But feel free to ask questions. We've all been to it at least once, right? A couple of us been there more than once. So, I don't know. We talked about doing something after. How did everybody's road or trip home go?
Mine was uneventful. Once we got the alternator fixed, yeah, mine was pretty uneventful. I got home at 3:00. I think Clover had an eventful trip home.
Not eventful. It was long and a pain in the butt, but yeah, I guess Ghost is the only one that knows the story, I guess. So we're standing around in the parking lot, right? And then we all split up. So before we got to the parking lot, after we ate, the battery on my phone was low. So I walk over and unlock the truck and put my phone in there and plug it up. That way it can charge while we're BSing or whatever, right? So we split up. I get in the truck. I pick my phone up because I'm in Tulsa. I have no way which direction to even start going to go home or anything else. Pick my phone up. It's dead. It won't turn on. I'm hitting buttons. It's not doing anything. And I'm like, okay, well, this sucks. So I jack with it for, I don't know, for 20, 30 minutes, I'm guessing, or so. Can't get it to come on. I'm like, well, this sucks. Like, okay, I guess I need to ride around and find a gas station and maybe get a map. And maybe eventually my phone will come on. I don't know. So I ride around, I get down the road, I pull into a gas station, I go in, and I'm in there. Went to the restroom, walk out, and I'm sort of walking around, kind of see if they got a map, and look out the window, and Mr. Wright pulls up. So I walk out there and tell him what's going on, and he's like, well, which way are you going home? And I said, well, I don't have any cash, so I can't go on those turnpikes. And he goes, well, I didn't go that way anyway. So why don't you just follow me? And then, you can flash your lights if you have problems or whatever. I'm like, okay. So I jump in the truck and I follow him. Well, we got about, I don't know, I guess about 2 hours out of Tulsa. And my phone comes on. Of course, it's plugged into the battery pack. I had tried plugging in the cigarette lighter and multiple things, and couldn't get nothing out of it. And it stayed plugged in the battery pack for like 2 hours. Well, the light comes on. It just comes on. It says it has like 27% battery. So I flash my light. We pull over. So we sit there and we BS we're in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where. Some little podunky town that the rent-a-cops, because they were driving around in a Tahoe or something with a weird light bar on top. It's not like they were even real cops. It was crazy, but they kept driving by real slow, but they never messed with us. So we stood around there and BS'd a little more. My phone charged, so I got on and set in the map and did everything. And so we took off again, and he was probably. I had to make a couple more stops along the way. Whatever. He ended up being about 10 or 15 minutes ahead of me. So anyway, yeah, that was a horrible way to go. I will never go that way again. It took me far longer because of all the little podunk towns and slow speed limits and other things.
That's
and by the time I do what now?
That's probably the way I went down last time because I was trying to hit all that. It sounds like the way Bob went up, I guess.
Maybe, and I don't know, but I mean, for me, it was horrible because I was tired and everything else. So,
no, I'm not agreeing. It's a horrible ride because you're driving, really going 45, and then you're down to 35, and then 60, then down to 25.
So I got
there was
to
only
about
one full way in Oklahoma.
Like Indian Nation Turnpike or something was the one I went up going up there.
That was the Muskegee Turnpike. Yeah,
it was like $6 total or something.
Yeah.
Which I would have went that route had I had any cash, but I didn't have any cash. So anyway, we get on down the road, and then he's got to go one way, and I got to go the next. So not a big deal. So I'm about an hour and a half away from the house, and I'm like, literally, I'm fixing to fall asleep. It was horrible. So about another 30 minutes goes by, and I hit the town that I actually stopped at the same station on the way up. And part of the reason I stopped is they had breakfast biscuits or whatever and all that stuff. And I thought, well, okay, they'll have something to eat. I'll get something to eat. I'll go in the bathroom. I'll, get some water on my face and all this other stuff. So I do all that. Get me a sausage biscuit, whatever. Go up to the counter, and they've got that 5-hour energy. So I got me a 5-hour energy. And so anyway, go back out to the truck, down the 5-hour energy. By the way, if you've never had one, the nastiest crap you'll ever drink in your life, man. I really barfed.
Oh yes,
that stuff was gross, man. I got the orange because they had a bunch of different flavors, and I thought, okay, orange is fairly safe, right? Orange. Oh my God, man. I opened it and I smelled of it, and I was like, okay, you got to do this all at once, probably,
Just down it, man.
Just downed it. I mean, oh God, I almost gag reflex kicked in, and I mean, it was horrible. And
anybody who do a shot of hard liquor can do a 5-hour energy shot.
Well, I'm just saying it was thick and nasty. It was just ugh. Anyway. I mean, did not taste like orange, maybe rotten orange, but anyway,
it's like orange medicine.
So I downed that and I headed out, and of course I ate my biscuit and drank my Coke, trying to get the nasty taste out of my mouth. And I had no problem the rest of the way home. I guess the 5-hour energy thing kicked in and worked, or maybe it was just the water on my face, or maybe it was the biscuit, or maybe it was a combination of those. I don't know, but it was rough there for a little while. For about 30 minutes. For about 30 minutes, I was seriously worried about running off the road or something.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying, Clover, about the 5-hour energies. I kind of got into those for a while, but I'd only ever do about half of one, and then I'd do a half, and then put the rest down, and as soon as you get it, like you just swallow it right as fast as you can. The cherry ones actually are the best, and then coffee, not pop, but pop because of the sweetness seems to stick. Coffee just washes it right out of your mouth.
All right, I got a question for you, Bob, and this is not meant to be a smart-ass question. This is a legitimate question, okay? So you take half a 5-hour energy, right? So when you do half a 5-hour, this is a legitimate question, seriously. If you take a half of one, do you get like half the energy for 5 hours, or do you get like the full energy for half the time, or what?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know it would just hit you about 15 minutes or so, or did me anyway. About 15 minutes after I took it, I would start feeling like more alert and awake.
Yeah.
And then, a couple hours later, maybe I'd start feeling as soon as I'd start feeling a little drowsy again, I'd hit the other half. But generally, it only took half of it, and I would be able to go for probably 4 or 5 hours. And then usually the bad part of them is it's really hard to go to sleep after you've taken them. So even if,
sure, yeah.
Oh, I had no problem. Time I got home, that was like an hour in, an hour and a half in, dude. I got home and I didn't even set my alarm right. You know, that's how come I didn't get up. And yeah, I crashed, dude. But just about the minute I laid down, I was gone. So,
I would get to a Walmart parking lot and be like, oh shit, man, it's like 9 at night. I've been driving for 8.5 hours. I really can't keep going, right? It's gonna get dangerous after that.
right.
And yeah,
Go ahead.
I just sit there and okay, Walmart free Wi-Fi and YouTube videos, right? And then like 3 hours later, and 4 or 5 beer, then it'd be like, okay, now I can sleep. And then 9 and go again, right?
When I have a long distance drive, like going to Wanamaker or going down to Tennessee or something where I'm driving 500 miles plus, those 5-hour energy shots are my co-pilot. And I take them at strategic points. I don't take it right from the start. I wait until I'm actually starting to get really tired, where my attention, I'm either starting to drift within my own lane or I'm having a hard time paying attention. That's when I'll take one and I'll do the whole thing. But that doesn't get me 5 hours. And there is a warning label on them: do not take more than 3 in a 24-hour period. And yes, I have a little story on that. And so I took one, and that got me about 2.5 hours. But I was still, it was like 4 hours later, and I was still just starting to drag ass again. So I went ahead and popped a second one, and that got me, about 3 hours down the road. And I was like an hour and a half from being home. And it's when it's that close, it's just like, I can do it. I can do it. I mean, you want to just make it a will of force to be able to be home. So I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just take this third one. And it'll make me that 90 minutes. And if I can't sleep, I can't sleep, but at least I'm home. I don't want to get a hotel room or sleep in my car when I'm an hour plus from home.
Yeah, see,
So I take this thing. At 90 minutes, at 60 minutes, I am so freaking disorientated from these energy drinks. I have to pull over to a Motel 6 and sleep it off. And you're not really sleeping. You're just like quasi-conscious, quasi-unconscious. You're in this like little, like some sort of 60s
Trip.
Trip. So taking 2, and I've on many occasions taken 2 in the same 24-hour period, no issues whatsoever. The issue of not falling asleep, yeah, you don't want to take it if you're going to want to fall asleep in the next 2 hours.
So you were on 2 trips simultaneously, an actual road trip and a mental trip.
Yes. So what really pissed me off, like I said, is I ended up pulling over to a Motel 6 and staying the night an hour and a half from my home. It felt like I had the flu, except for the head symptoms of disorientation, I didn't have any other symptoms. But
no,
yeah,
I told Dano not to do that, but Dano doesn't listen to me.
It's devolved into the more of like strategies. But Clover was talking about getting home, but you guys were talking about the 5-hour things. But I drink Monsters, the giant cans, those really tall cans.
Oh yeah.
Like the one I drink is I used to drink the tea one. There's like 3 or 4 different flavors of tea that have tea with a bunch of energy fluids in them, and then it's like lemon or peach or orange. But I can't get the orange one enough, so I switched to the one that's just a white can basically, and it just tastes like 7-Up or something, like Sprite or one of those kind of lemon lime type of sodas. But it's got 0 calories, and it's a big giant can, so you could drink it for a while. It's like, I don't know if it's worth 2 cans, but it's like one of them giant beers. So I go in, I get coffee somewhere in a coffee cup, a really big coffee cup, and then now I've got an insulated coffee cup. A lot of the places use that really stiff styrofoam for coffee cups now. And then once I drink the coffee, next time I'm getting gas, I ask them for ice, and they give you ice for nothing. So I fill the cup up with ice, and then I pour one of them white Monsters in there. And like I say, it tastes like you're drinking 7-Up. It doesn't even taste like Diet 7-Up. It just tastes like regular 7-Up. And, I just kind of drink that as I'm driving. And I don't know how many of them I drink. Maybe 2 if I'm driving like 16 hours or something. But they're just like a drink. So I don't necessarily like drink the whole thing. In other words, I just start sipping on it, and if I get tired, like you're saying, I just drink some more. And
Does
then
it have like a crash or anything?
I don't know, because I definitely drive different than you guys, because I was driving a lot, so it messed up for me. But when I'm just driving like a 5-hour thing, I'll just crack one of those and drink it as I'm driving, and then also have water or something else to drink also. But I just drink it because it's not like coffee. Once you got a styrofoam cup of ice and you pour that in there, it's cold. So it's not like coffee where it gets cold. It's already cool. So if I'm drinking it, a little sip or two here, and then I'm getting tired, I yawn or something, I'll drink a couple more sips of it, and it just sits there in the cup holder until I need it.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't tried the monster drinks and some of the variations of that is because the more liquid, whether it's coffee or just soda pop or just water that I take in, the more I have to stop because I'm almost 60 now and go to the bathroom. And
just wear a diaper.
Eat like a racehorse when I'm drinking that shit.
I'm not an astronaut.
That has nothing to do with age.
Just wear a diaper, Dano. You'll be fine.
That monster definitely, whatever, all those energy things make you pee. Coffee makes me pee.
Yeah, but coffee does it to me too.
But the
5-hour drink doesn't, because there's hardly any liquid there. It's just I consider it safety medicine, because if I'm starting to drive off the road, that's dangerous.
See, I've never had any of those energy drinks before.
Well, you're still relatively speaking, you're still a young guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll drink a Coke, or I'll go and get if I really need to stay awake, I'll get a Mountain Dew. For some reason, that seems to do the job for me.
I haven't had anything like that too.
I have a bunch of my friends that do use it a lot.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever had anything like that. So I really expected it to work well, it being something that, and I guess it worked. But what's weird is Bob was talking about it kicking in, and I don't remember a point that I felt like it kicked in. But like I said, I had stopped, I had moved around, got the blood, pumping a little bit. Went to the bathroom, put cold water on my face, kind of washed my face or whatever. And then I ate that biscuit and some other stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe I.
What's in it?
I have no idea.
It's not just like super caffeine, right? It's got that other.
No. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. I remember reading about it one time, and it's not like straight up caffeine, but it's not like that old. Remember the old Jolt? Remember Jolt?
Well, Jolt was just like extra caffeine, but a 5-hour energy.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Right. Okay. Because I know that the energy drinks, I didn't like them for the longest time until I started hearing about the guys who would use them overseas or whatever, and they drink the specific ones that had the roots or whatever the hell chemicals are in them that are from roots or whatever that were.
They used like ginseng stuff, didn't they?
5-hour energy. What?
There you go, right there.
Ingredients: B6, B12, niacin, folic acid. All kinds of crap I can't pronounce.
So that's more like a B12 booster. So that's trying to give you like a excess of vitamins so that your metabolism can kick in, right? At least that's what
there is, and there is caffeine in it.
Because the monsters and stuff have that, I don't know how to say it, but TOUL something, and that's like more of like a coffee alternative, and it keeps you wired like coffee, but it definitely, you got to get used to it. And if it's got that shit in it, maybe that's what. It's a different type of being. Like, have you ever eaten like those no-dose pills? You take like 2 no-dose.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's just caffeine, but it's like so much of it.
Yeah, you'll start shaking.
Yeah, it might be something like that. You're not used to that. That's that version of caffeine.
With the 5-hour energy that I have in my hand here, it does mention that it has 200 milligrams of caffeine, but then it also goes to, listen to these percents. Of niacin, it's 150% of your daily vitamin. B6, it's 2,000%. Folic acid, it's 100%. And B12, it's 8,333%.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a B12 in shot then. And that's supposed to give you like a real keen perception, right? Like it's supposed to make your brain real sharp.
And I've never gotten like high. I go from dangerously tired to normal awakeness.
Yeah.
What I get from
And I
looking
hear,
through
and I,
from looking through the ingredient list on the 5 Hour Energy is you've got these vitamins and stuff, and then there's other stuff in there as well that basically aids in your body utilizing those vitamins better. That makes sense.
it
Right.
makes your bloodstream absorb them better.
Yeah, it makes it work, right?
Yeah.
Like the caffeine, and there's some other words that I can't pronounce that are there.
Yeah.
My usual keep me awake on a road trip is a soda and cigarettes and the window down. That keeps me awake pretty good.
Now, let me ask you guys. Speaking of traveling along, do you have any things that you do before the ride? Like, do you, if you get up earlier than you normally get, do you get up just at your regular time? What do you do as far as any pre-travel stuff that kind of help you get that good endurance for making a 10-hour drive or whatever it might be?
I'm a
I
little
went
different
on
because
there.
my body only operates on about 5 hours sleep. I don't get more than 5 hours sleep a night, five, maybe six. So if I get more than that, I feel bad. So I actually sleep less when I'm going on a road trip for some reason. I don't know. The night before.
Well, on my way up, I was on about 2 hours sleep on my way up.
Intentionally?
Well, by the time I got through, because I left early Friday morning, and by the time I got through with the Thursday show, which didn't start till 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock my time. Yeah, started at 10 o'clock my time, so it was 11, and I still had some packing and other things to do, and I had to get up at about 3:30. Between 3:30, wanted to be on the road by 4. And so by the time I got things packed and then actually fell asleep and that sort of stuff, I didn't get but maybe a couple of hours. So,
Yeah.
And that it wasn't bad on the way up, but it wasn't dark either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the
But on the way
reasons why
back,
it probably
we
wasn't
got up at what, Ghost, 8 or something Sunday morning,
Sunday morning. We got up at 8. Yeah.
8 or so.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had been up 12 hours as of 8 o'clock. I went nearly 20. I was awake nearly 24 hours by the time I got home. So
Yeah.
and all that walking and everything else.
Yeah.
It had me beat.
I'll tell you, the last time I came back, when I came back this year, I did probably a 12-hour drive to make it to the city I was heading for. And the last couple of hours, the weirdest shit was happening. I'd be driving down the highway, and the trees from the side of the road would start marching across the road in front of me. You know, and I knew that this was actually happening, right? So it was like, and I never hit them. I would just get close to them, and then they disappear, and you'd see the road again. But yeah, it was pretty freaky. That probably last half hour was the worst until I actually got in the city where there's enough traffic to kind of wake you up.
I had that happen kind of like last night, where I think it was last night, where it wasn't, because I wasn't wiggy or nothing. It was just the reflection of like the street lights and a little bit of wetness on the ground. I think looked exactly like some dude standing there, kind of moseying across the street or whatever. And I ended up breaking and everything. And then by the time I got there, the positions moved, and it wasn't that optical illusion anymore. But that just freaked the shit out of me. It really looked like somebody was standing like far enough in front of me that I wouldn't have been able to brake for him.
Yeah. Then you're thinking, should I swerve?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was
nobody on the road. This was like 3 a.m. or something. There was nobody out there, so it was me braking for no reason. Somebody would have been watching. They would just saw some van brake for no reason and then driving in. But yeah, it was definitely a weird set of reflections or whatever it was.
I got a question for you, G. Not on necessarily this tour, because we were only gone for about a week, but like in the last one, you're gone for a month. What's the most you drove in one day on one leg?
That's a good question. Not very far, because I was hitting stuff. So
That's true. That's true.
probably on the way back from Colorado to Tucson, because that's like 10 hours of just getting the hell home, or 12 hours. No, it was from the New Mexico thing. No, it wasn't. See, I went to Albuquerque, so it was from Albuquerque. So I didn't do more than like 8 or maybe 10 hours or something. This time I drove more. When I drove there, I drove straight almost. And then coming back, I pretty much drove straight. So my tricks are, I used to be a lot like more unhealthy, and then I would eat like a bunch of Snickers and shit and soda, and that would not do well because I would crash all the time, get like diabetes comas or whatever, and then have to pull over and sleep. So like now this time I was all healthy and then eating healthy and shit. So I go and it's fine, but then I start eating shitty, those tiny pies and shit, and then it's tougher. But I don't try to, like Dana was saying, I don't try to go somewhere and stop. I just keep driving and then pull over for little naps. Like I don't. I mean, the van makes it super nice, but even when I have the cop car, I'll just drive until I get wiggy, and then I'll just pull over wherever. I mean, there's always a gas station, or even just I'll stop at like just a road somewhere and pull over like the trucks do, and just stop on the side of some side road for a bit. Leave your your driving lights on and the car running, or maybe something to keep the heater on or whatever, depending on what temperature, and then just doze for a bit, and then you wake up and you can go for another 2 tanks of gas, and then do the same thing if I have to.
Right.
So in your previous trips, when you were in the cop car, did you not take Oro with you, I guess?
Yeah, he was in the back.
Oh,
That's the reason
wow.
I go to the van, because he doesn't really like the back of the cop car.
I got you.
And nobody liked the back of the cop car, G-Webs.
Yeah, really.
It had like different reasons, Bob.
Had a platform back there, but it's just so small. He can't. I mean, he can see everything. He likes that part of it, but it's just too small.
And he's kind of like
when you're a passenger, that platform sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's definitely a personal air freshener.
Yeah.
Well, we all talking about driving, but it sounds like the reason I wanted to do this because Psycho was saying something about they mess me up with they charge you extra for the weight of that gun case or something.
Yeah.
$100. Yeah, when I got to the airport, so when I came out, I just had my own suitcase and my carry gun. And at my airport, they didn't even want to see anything. They just made me pinky swear that the guns were unloaded, and they gave me the little red tag to throw in the luggage to say, yeah, I promise they're unloaded. I think our X-ray is better. But when I went when you dropped me off at the other airport, so I had for you guys that don't remember this, that big piece of foam. I just took that tape and I put 2 bands of tape around it and I taped it right to the top of the case. And I brought that in like that. Well, of course, the woman at the counter said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to open your luggage and show me every gun. And so I can see that they are unloaded, which is cool. That's a good safety thing. So I had to open everything up and tear it all apart. But luckily, I kept that big roll of tape outside. And I was able to tape it back up again. And I did get the big piece of foam all the way home with no nicks in it.
Right.
Cool.
But yeah, the 3 guns were 4 pounds overweight. So my baggage charges on the way back home were $160
For 4 pounds.
For 4 pounds.
The first check luggage is 25.
Yep.
The second check luggage is 35, and the overage was 100.
Wow.
Ooh, 100.
So
how much would
at least in what airline did you use?
That was
charged you?
Delta.
So does Delta charge once you're over their magic number? Is it per pound, or how do they get to that fee?
I didn't ask. I just paid the money.
How much?
I think it's just a flat rate, I think.
Per pound or what?
Well, I think it's just a flat
know,
fee.
All I know is it's 4 pounds over.
I mean, so 4 pounds or 400 pounds, it would have been the same fee?
No. When we were coming home from somewhere with books and stuff, it was the same kind of thing, like per pound or something. We had to like pull magazines. We brought a bunch of
$25 a pound. Jesus Christ!
I tell you, this is kind of going about the road trip thing, but
bought another suitcase cheaper than that.
Yeah,
you said if you could have had that other rifle case, then you could have pulled the one rifle out of the one case. Now it wouldn't be over, and then you would just have an baggage, and that would have been less than
whatever a third bag would have cost me, which would probably be another $35. But hey, that's life.
Yeah.
we were talking last night after hit or miss last night. We kind of stayed on air for a little bit with Night Strike and Travis and Garage Guns and Clover and me talking about April's Tulsa trip. And we're trying to get Night Strike to go. He's like, I just can't afford to fly, this, that, and the other. And Travis brought up a really good point. He said, go Greyhound, because they have all that extra room downstairs. And if you can just, if you can go overnight and just sleep on the Greyhound, they'll get you there and all that.
Nope. We went and looked. Greyhound, no guns.
No guns, period.
No guns, period, at all. Not even a carry.
Okay. Never mind then.
Some kind of an express bus that doesn't stop. You'd be stopping all the time. That would be horrible.
Yeah, and the train up here, I'd have to take Amtrak for the first leg, And Amtrak is the same way, no firearms.
I was just going to mention that Amtrak's because it's federally funded for part of it. That's how they get the no guns.
Yeah, well, they can federally go fly type.
And that's also Greyhound. Greyhound receives a subsidy from the federal government to keep the service running as part of our national infrastructure.
Yep. Well, I mean, I could swing down and pick him up and bring him in, but then he would have to drive, and I would have to listen to him swearing at the other drivers the whole time. And I don't think I can handle that.
Well, if, for Night Strike, at least, getting from South Carolina to Tulsa, what he could probably do is, I mean, I don't know if he'd want to do this or not, but he could maybe ship any guns that he wanted to take and then take the Greyhound himself, you know, and do all that stuff. I don't know if that's, we were trying to figure out a way last night to get Night Strike to Tulsa in April, because he said he couldn't afford to fly.
Can he not afford? Does he have a vehicle?
Yeah, I don't know the whole situation, but Garage Gun said if he's in and not, you know, if he's on leave or something, he's there. He said he's coming. He could just hitch a ride with him, but who knows?
I was just, in terms of people who living in adjoining states is what I'm thinking of. Drive one state over and then hook up with somebody.
Yeah.
To do the, you know, do the rest of it in someone else's vehicle. He only has to drive. I don't know how far it is to.
I don't know if Nick
surrounding
knows
states.
how to hook up with somebody. I don't know that he's old enough to. We've never seen proof of his existence, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, from Connecticut, I looked at it the other day. From Connecticut to Tulsa is about 23 hours straight.
Well, for you, it probably would be just as easy to fly as anything. But, you know, we're just trying to think of someone who is close enough to drive, either doesn't have a car or doesn't have a car that'll make it. We're just trying to think of alternate ways for like someone like Night Strike, like Ellis. Like Ellis doesn't even have a car. He doesn't drive. He doesn't have a driver's license.
I mean, if there was a way, I don't know if Raphael would be going this spring or not. And of course, he's got family connections that he visits people either before or after the show.
Right.
Does Ellis have a CCW though?
Not yet.
Let's say, because if Ellis had a CCW and Night Strike had a driver's license, then they could probably work something out.
Yeah, I think they're going to go get their CCW together sometime.
Yeah.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, my only thing, I can pick them up, but I'd have to drive straight down to South Carolina and then across to Tulsa, whereas I have a straight shot, you know, on 80 and 81 and all that stuff.
I mean, even if they could get a ride down to Atlanta, then catch a flight from Atlanta to Tulsa, that would be. I mean, Atlanta's probably not too far from South Carolina. That would make their flight a lot cheaper. You know, just because didn't you fly from Atlanta to Tulsa?
I did. Yeah, the second leg. Yeah.
Also, you know, I know Charleston has a major airport.
Yeah, but I don't
know how far he is.
What I'm saying is, I don't know if they, you know, I don't know if they would be more expensive to go from Charleston to somewhere else, but if they could get a ride down to Atlanta and just have one leg of a flight from Atlanta straight into Tulsa, you know, the airfare, they might find a cheap airfare that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that some airlines actually make it cheaper if the multiple stops you make, but some, you know, it's what it is. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get. I know Night Strike really wants to go, but I also know that he always has excuses to why he can't do things. I don't know if they're legitimate or if it's just how he is. You know, that's not a knock on him at all. I'm just trying to, you know, I don't know
his name. He's going to show up, right?
Oh, I know. I hope he does, because we'll figure out a way to get him here.
Chat for people that have been to the show. We're supposed to be talking about the show. So now, hypothetically, how to get other people who don't even want to go to the show. So, do you guys know how much it costs you to get to the show? I did my spreadsheet.
Oh, I haven't done my stuff yet, but you're talking about just to get there?
Yeah, it cost me $405 in gas. Looks like $150 to get there, $180 to get home.
That's all gas. That's all fuel.
That's just
the round trip flights and 3 nights a hotel was, not counting the baggage, was $605 with taxes and everything.
I think you got the best deal right there because you came the farthest probably. Do you know how many miles it was? Mine was 2,200 round trip, so 1,000 miles one way.
Well, I don't know. I flew to Atlanta and then I came from Atlanta to Tulsa, so you got me.
But I mean, a straight shot from
I
you.
said,
Straight shot's about 1,400 miles.
Oh, you're way farther away for sure. You got the best deal.
I set my trip meter before I left, and I was just under 850 when I got home.
It was about two bills in baggage charges because it was 25 on the way out and 160 on the way back. So 185 for baggage on top of that. So 790 or
so. To get there, as well as the driving around that I did, I mean, just to get there and back, it was approximately $136 in my Honda Civic. But also some of because we also had range day, and then we went to the museum and stuff like that. So I figure just another tank right there makes that $156. So to get there, come home, as well as to drive to the different places, end of the show, $156 for me.
Wow.
Mine was including, my part of the hotel and gas was right at $200. But I probably had the shortest drive of anybody.
No, Foose.
Well, Foose was he was there for a day, but he didn't have a hotel and all that,
Or P2269.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm about 250 miles each way, so I was about 500 miles and all that. So
yeah.
Now, how'd you
I had less than 150 on fuel, and I've got to add all this up. I've got receipts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was less than 150 in fuel, and then 75 on the room. That's 225, and then it was 100, and I want to say right at 120, $118 or something was repairs on my truck, which I had to make to get there. Which puts me at what, less than 350. And then I think I figured it up with the food I had to buy that I took, and then the one meal I actually paid for. Thank you, Cycle Camp and Ghost.
no problem.
I still had about $40, I think, in food. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood, not counting the money spent on the drone, somewhere in the neighborhood of probably $400.
That's not bad at all.
And I got and my Tulsa campaign little fundraiser thing I did was like $360 or $380 I got off of that. So
nice.
The guys out there just
minimal outside of your pocket.
Oh yeah. It didn't. I mean, the drone, even though I was stressing over actually spending the money for the stupid thing, because I don't like spending money if I don't have to. That was the trip was pretty much paid for. So
yeah.
Well, and I really I gotta disagree with you on the repairs on your vehicle, because eventually you would have had to do those anyway.
Well,
right?
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe, but I still conclude you got to go somewhere.
Yeah, because he did it specifically for this.
But that could be months and months and months and months down the road too, Bob. Because I mean,
you could have driven.
I'm not.
Because you're not going to drive, you're not going to even, maybe you didn't ever stress it. I figure going up and down hills and 75 miles an hour, you might not stress something out at home if it does that. So I would say Ghost has to put his alternator on there too.
I forgot the $200 for the alternator. So yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. You got to factor that in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the things you buy at the show are really, optional. I mean, you buy it because
I don't count that as part of my trip.
If it's something you blow up going to the show, I can see adding that to the cost.
Like me, my alternator went out in Tulsa.
Yes,
So,
that can be added to the cost because that's something that just broke on your truck because you were driving to the show. But
but the stuff I get at the show and all that, I don't count as part of the trip.
Yeah, if you're doing preventive maintenance, it's like, well, I changed my oil and rotated my tires, so that cost. Yeah.
Well, that's not what I did. I had to repair stuff, or I repaired stuff that I feared was going to be a problem with the 800 and something mile round trip.
Yeah.
No, unless it was.
I would definitely count that as part of the trip then.
If it was, I don't know. Yeah, no, we could argue about this all night because we just have different ways of looking at that.
I like.
Well, put it this way: Clover made repairs to his truck. Clover made repairs to his truck because his truck wouldn't have gotten to Tulsa had he not made those repairs.
Well, it may have.
You can look at it like
have.
you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, you look at it like Ghost, right? He didn't repair his alternator because he didn't know or whatever.
Didn't know it was going to go out. Yeah.
Flew in Tulsa, right? So
Right.
Housing.
stuff so that it wouldn't blow while you're on the trip.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, but Ghost, didn't you say that didn't you tell Cycle Camp or something that your battery light had come on before or something like that?
It had come on the way from the J.M. Davis to the show to CG.
Okay.
But then it went off. It went off, so I didn't think. I just thought it was
before going to Tulsa at all. You never had an issue.
No, okay. it came on the way from J.M. Davis to the show in Tulsa, and then it went off. So I didn't think. I just thought, it's an old truck, and shit happens. Lights come on.
Well, and one of the reasons I add that too is that was put in. I mean, that was a caveat and put in when I started the crowdfunding or the fundraising.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it out there from day one that look, I need to make these repairs.
Clover, I'm not like I know what I'm not ragging on you, dude. No, I
know. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it.
Bringing it up because I was like, I want to stir some shit. So sorry, man. I shouldn't.
Well, let me ask you this, Bob. Let me ask you this, Bob.
A place to stay and how much it costs you guys, and what you might do different next time in regards to a place to stay. If there's something, if a house is not available.
Well, the room that Clover and I shared was $75 a night.
Yeah.
And what we per night. So it ended up for 2 nights. It cost us $75 a piece. Yeah, so it's $75 a night for the room. Now that being said, we had 3 lamps in there, and they only gave us 1 light bulb. And that's very true.
And the Wi-Fi.
At one point, Clover literally asked me, "Hey, which lamp do you want on? You need to move the light bulb." But I said, "Don't worry about it."
Right down the block from the Motel 6.
No, this was at the airport, which is very odd. It didn't have an elevator. It didn't have an elevator in it, and the Wi-Fi was as bad as it gets. So I would probably sit there and say, if there's not a house available, I'd probably rather spend $100 a night on a room and get a decent, something better.
Yeah, the Motel 6, I've got to say they're one of the better places to go. The rooms might be plain, but they're usually clean. I've never had a problem with not a clean room.
Well, the thing that
I'm more worried about Wi-Fi.
The thing that gets me about a motel is, my Wi-Fi in motels tends to be worse than in hotels.
Yeah,
well, like you go spend $100 for like a La Quinta or an extended stay or something like that. Because typically, like the extended stays and all that, they're usually people are there for like weeks at a time. So typically, their Wi-Fi is pretty good because people work out of those things.
I've stayed at many Motel 6s that are perfectly fine, but the one in Tulsa is literally the drug hangout. And where
and I think it's where Cycle Camp stayed.
You're such a downer. That just means there's lots of half-naked, skinny chicks.
Well, and it also had the surrounding hotels had obviously adjoining parking lots, so it was all throughout that area. I mean, we were right next door to another hotel that I can't remember the brand name, but it was either one of the spin-offs of Hilton or the spin-offs of another one that begins with the same.
Did your Motel 6 have like the weird colors, like multi-colors out front?
No.
Not that I recall.
Okay, because I mean it's a big town. There's more than one, but the one next to Cycle Camp had like red, blue, and green, yellow colors out front, almost like a casino or something.
It had a bar in it, which is you never hear of in a Motel 6 having a bar.
Well, that was converted then.
Yes, it used to be something else because it also had a pool that was filled in with dirt.
Yeah,
but it was 15 minutes from the Motel 6 to the exhibition, so the distance from it was kind of nice. So it was relatively close.
Yeah, we were like 5 minutes from the show, which was great.
But if you were taking the interstate on into Tulsa, from the east, you were coming right into town. So it was on the east side, the far east side.
I know Cycle Camp said his hotel was nice, but apparently P226 said that was like the drug and whore capital of Tulsa.
Yeah, if you guys would just haul an RV or some kind of trailer with you, there's a trailer park that's right at the gun show that you can park your trailer and walk to the gun show from. And it's like $35 a night, guys. And the Wi-Fi is decent.
Yeah, we don't. I'm not going to go buy a $25,000
Well, even if you rented a
RV just to go do that, though.
They don't
got-
cost that though. You can buy them for $2,500. That
you
are
can rent one for the weekend, and it's still going to have a shitty RV wash bathroom in it. And what, you're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 dudes sharing a shitty RV bathroom for a weekend?
they have showers. They have showers at the RV parks that are quite.
Oh, I bet you a $35 RV park at the state fairgrounds is a deluxe community shower arrangement.
It's a
It's very nice.
shower, and it's separate showers. They got 5 or 6
So
separate
it's not
showers.
barrack showers, great. So it's a little bit better
No,
than
they're separate. They're individual rooms. Nice
Easy there now. Am I gonna have to separate you two?
and
I'd
roll.
like to make.
P226
I'd like
has
to make
just
an
joined us.
announcement. P226 is actually on a chat right now.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's in here. So
Holy shit, man! How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, I just want to say, you can say that hotel was in a shit area, but Clover was in the room, and that room is.
That's what I'm saying. Your hotel was nice.
$56 a night.
That
Yeah, it
hotel was actually like
That's the
a
price.
quarter
Right?
mile from where I went to high school, so it's not that
It
bad.
was not bad. His room was not bad.
They had a, if I
56
wanted
bucks.
to spend a little more, they could upgrade me into a room that had a living room with sofas and shit in it.
Right, and the hookers would just come to the door. You didn't have to order them.
That's right. That's
Now-
right.
There you go.
now,
I
what
had
brand
a
hotel was that?
It was
Cycle Camp?
the Comfort Inn and Suites by Carlson
Suites?
in Tulsa.
They also had Lucky Charms down in the cafeteria, by the way.
Yeah.
They're always after me ammunition.
Everybody was talking at the same time. I couldn't catch the name of that hotel. Could you say it again?
It's the Country Inn and Suites.
Yes, I say
Country
It was a Comfort Inn.
Inn and Suites.
It's my goddamn hotel.
Thanks, guys.
Comfort Inn and
Thanks.
Suites by
It's the
Carlson
Country Inn.
Tulsa.
Sorry.
I believe it was the Country Inn and Suites.
Well, we were
somebody
making fun
type that
because
journal, just so Dano can cut and paste it. That might help.
we were making fun of how we were saying it because when Cycle Camp and Clover were up in his room watching up after they changed the alternator, P226 calls his room and acts like he's a front desk and says, "Hey, this is John at the front desk of the Country," and he forgot what hotel it was. So the joke kind of went bad.
Yeah.
Should've just
We're
said the
like a
front
long pause.
I'm really sorry.
How'd
This
you
is
even-
my first day, okay? But they told me to call you. But yeah, he could have saved it. You could have.
What he said was there's an unauthorized visitor down here asking for weed.
He said it was from a leprechaun, so I'm pretty sure it was you.
That was funny. Yeah. But Cycle Camp says, "Oh yeah, it's room 217," which wasn't even his room number. They need to call them.
Jeez.
Thank you, Cycle Camp.
You're welcome.
You know, I don't know where he got the dish soap at, but yeah. Where'd you get the
Oh,
dish
I
soap?
asked the people there were really nice.
Or you just ask them
The
for dish
people
soap?
running the place, so, and she knew the gal at the desk knew we were having car trouble. So
Yeah.
I went and said they had a kitchen because they served breakfast.
Yeah.
And the breakfast was decent, halfway decent too. And
Yeah,
so
he
I just
actually-
said, "Hey, you got some dishwashing detergent because we got guys with greasy hands that need to wash their hands."
Yeah, he actually went in when the alternator first went out. He went into the hotel and said, "Hey, you know, my buddy's car's broken down. It's going to be here for a day or so, you know," and cleared it for them. And so they were all cool about my car staying there. So that helped.
Well, honestly, it sounds like that's a way to go then. I mean, $56 a night. It was at a 2-bed hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 queen-size beds. I tried like crazy to give that second bed away and just couldn't do it.
You said if it was
All the
been
girls
a
said
good
no.
rate, how much it would have cost to get the living room in that room?
That I don't know. They offered me the upgrade for nothing.
Okay, so then either way, I think there's some advantage of having everybody in the same hotel, right? If you just get a group of rooms, then you could potentially get them even cheaper.
Well, yeah, if we're not going to get a house, then at least be in the same hotel. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that kitchen
Well, I think that's
at that one was big enough. We could have all sat around in there and
Well, they
whatever.
also probably had a conference room too. Most of those
Exactly.
hotels.
a hotel.
Now, do
Everybody
they have
got
anything-
pretty much their own bathrooms too, so it's not like at a house where everybody's got to pile into one freaking,
No kidding.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the internet
absolutely.
was decent too.
Yeah.
Now, do they have something for breakfast?
Yeah.
Other than coffee?
Oh yeah, they did the standard. The
Lucky
first night
Charms.
was eggs, sausages, and I don't
Pancakes.
remember what the
So they have
third
some
thing
hot
was.
food.
Waffles.
That's nice.
Plus, they had 24-hour access to Clover Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Ghost Tactical Crunch.
Yeah, and they also had Odeos and other shit.
And it
And
sounds like
they
it's
had-
close to the underbelly of Tulsa. So you could, for those of us who might be bent that way, you have
Now,
some.
Well, there was a girl who drove up and asked us for weed while we were fixing Ghost's truck. So
Well, the first
was
question
hilarious.
was, "Are we cops?" And then they
Yeah,
asked
yeah.
for weed.
we did ask for cops because we apparently looked so sketchy. It might be a setup.
Well, it's possible too. Yeah.
Yeah, Tulsa's a nice place, but the people don't appear to be that bright. No offense there, P226.
I was about to say, fuck.
All right. So speaking of people that aren't so bright, I'm coming home and I'm stopping in Armadillo, Texas, right in the Panhandle, and
Yeah,
there's a Long John Silver's. So I've been going to these Long John Silver's because I like eating Long John Silver's, and there ain't none in Tucson. There's none, so I can only eat it when I'm out of town. And they have this deal for $1.99. You get a piece of fish and some French fries. So I can get that, and if it sucks, I'm only out $1.99. If it's really good, I enjoy it and I move on. Right.
jackpot. Yeah,
So I'm in Texas, and I'm like, oh, it's the perfect time of day. I'm going to stop by Long John Silver's because there's none between where I'm in Armadillo there and like home. So maybe there's one in Albuquerque, but I'm maybe in Albuquerque like 2 a.m. Right. So I go in there, and I'm going to go in because I've already figured out if you go through the drive-thru, you're getting yesterday's fish. So I go in, and there's this girl standing there, I think, and she's got the headphones from like the drive-thru, and I'm asking her if she's got that $1.99 special because they never have it listed for whatever reason. And she goes, and I'm standing there asking her that, and then she says like, forget what the hell she says, like, oh my God, and then she's looking at me like if I did something, and I'm like, what? What's going on? Right? And she's like, oh, she's just staring at me, and it's silent. And she had just made this like exclamation. Now she's pointing at her ear. And then she finally like takes off her ear thing, and she's like, did that guy honk his horn? And asked me, like if I had anything to do with what happened in her ear a minute ago. Did that guy honk his horn? It was so loud, it hurt my ear. And she's pointing at her ear. So I really don't think she was like mentally retarded, but I think she was mentally retarded. It was crazy. So then I seen that they had onion rings. And after like a really awkward, uncomfortable amount of time where she's just like standing there pointing at her ear, I'm like, do you know how much the onion rings are by themselves? Because all I can see is like, because it's an A&W, so it's like with some hamburger or whatever. And she was like, I don't know how much they cost by themselves. And then I think she was there in the store by herself. It's like she kept saying, I don't know how much they cost by themselves. Weird me. I thought I was on like a TV show where they were doing something weird to see like the reaction of the customer or something.
Yeah, looking for that hidden camera.
Seriously, I left. I wasn't about to put anything in me that came out of her responsibility.
So if
You know what? It probably she was just on drugs or something.
well, if we're telling stories about stupid people, the people who stole those guns from that shop here in Tulsa,
Did they
took
catch 'em?
all like 20 of them to one pawn shop like a mile away and tried to
what
pawn
an
them.
idiot.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
They got caught.
Well, I hope so.
So they actually had.
Whoa, was
I
that?
know when I was at the show, they had somebody steal from a table, but they got caught on the grounds.
No, this was.
We had a guy
this
that-
was
in a strip center. So imagine like 5 stores in a strip center. Somebody drives through 3 of them to the center store, which is the gun shop, so they could bust through the wall because they had those big parking embankments up front, so you can't break in the front of the gun shop. So they just drove through like 3 stores,
3 businesses.
all, and
I have a
then
picture of the shop now up on Instagram.
so they just went like they played what is that, Blues Brothers on them and just
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah.
When we were at the show, Clover was there was a table right directly across from us, and there was this kid that was manufacturing and selling foregrips, and Clover went over there and interviewed him. And during the interview, apparently someone stole 2 of them during the interview, so they actually had Clover to see if he had caught it on film or anything. They didn't.
Wow. Well, I mean, when I was there, well, the show before this one, I heard that a bunch of guns got stolen. Did I hear right? P226, or was that wrong? Do you remember that?
There were guns stolen at the show. There always are. Like, there is one that was a friend of mine's gun got lifted this time.
Wow.
Like, that was just normal, like, people show, I think.
Are they usually onesies and twosies that get stolen, or what's more common in the years?
Yeah, like
probably handguns.
You've been involved for a number of years in that show, haven't you?
Yeah. Like, they had a shotgun stolen once that was like a $200,000 gun or something. And as it turns out, that was like a bunch of guys who all had gun shops who stole that. Like,
really?
It was nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, G, did I hear that you got kicked out of Walmart on the way home?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, but the thing about guns getting stolen, yeah. So there's old guys there that are not paying attention, and there's old guys. You've seen the old guys just sleeping.
Yeah.
I've seen people sleep at their table.
Yeah.
So there's a certain
Yeah,
your responsibility to take care of your own shit, right? And if you're going to be there sleeping, then bring your friend with you or something. So,
Sure.
and then there's some of these guys are assholes to each other. I've been there on Thursdays and Fridays before, and these people don't all like each other. So I could totally see where some guys like, slouching off, not paying attention, doing something else, and his like competitor slash, adversary, nemesis, whatever, guys that hate each other forever. He's going to go over there and see the opportunity to grab the gun back that he, sword that they ever traded or something. And then, of course, it's going to go up stolen. Do you know what I mean? It's just like anything. I don't know that necessarily it's always a gangbanger going in there and stealing a gun when sometimes and then a lot of times, look at some of these old guys telling me they remember what the hell they brought. I know I've seen old guys go in there and be like freaking out. Oh, I lost a gun. I lost a gun. I lost a gun. And then their wife will be like, it's in the blue box. Oh, okay. So, I'm saying they left that gun at home and then they're running around like they lost it. And then there's people that are just going to pull scams like, oh, I lost an expensive gun at this crazy chaotic gun show. And so insurance, what form do I fill out?
Oh, crap.
Man, look at that picture. Does that picture not paint a story?
Yeah, that was today cleaning up the shop.
I mean, well, obviously they had already finished the drywall job.
Yeah, they did that the first day. Like, he wasn't going to go home until it was done.
Well,
I love the skid marks on the ground.
Next to what kind of store is it next to him?
There's a flooring store that just got built that put in brand new parquet floors that is not very happy.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I think like some sort of medical like accessory company or whatever. Like they sell walkers and wheelchairs and that sort of stuff.
Right.
And then there's an empty building.
I know sense of humor, but if it was me, I'd keep the skid marks there just to
I would
remind
too.
you.
They're like battle scars. Like
exactly. It's a discussion thing, starter.
Yeah. And then I'd be bolting big metal bars to the inside walls so everybody could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been
based off those
security.
What kind of truck? Or I assume it was a truck.
Chevy Trailblazer.
Okay. I wonder if they took out the windshield ahead of time.
Well, they'll just go
backwards.
They'll just go and steal a truck, and I mean, you duck below the dash, and
they drove through backwards.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, use the back end of the ramp.
For being strung out on meth, that's pretty impressive to go through 3 shops backwards at like 70 miles an hour, or whatever it was they were doing.
Yeah.
So they just hit it from one end of the mall?
Yeah.
So do you think that it's like they're so clever, or do you think that they went to jail and somebody told them this is the way you do it, or do you think they've seen a movie or something else?
I think it's that they were clever, because he and I were having this discussion after the last time.
But if they were clever, they would have taken them all to the same pawn shop, though,
That's true.
Great point.
But like when we were discussing, how to up his security after the last time, like I said, well, if you were really smart, you would start at the end of the building and run all the way through, and then sure enough, this is what happens. We both laughed that off because like who would do that? That's insane.
Now, the actual act of breaking in and getting them was extremely clever.
Yeah.
It's what happened afterwards that makes them dumb criminals.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it happened in a movie, and they're just literally
the Italian Job or something, or something like that.
Yeah, somebody's girlfriend came up with the idea, and then after they grabbed the guns, they were like, "Oh, we don't need the bitch now."
Well, it was a man
Let's
and
go
a
pawn
woman
'em.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably just somebody mentioned it to them. That'd be the way to do it, and they went, "Yeah." And then they
And let's
tried.
go pawn them now, dumbasses.
Yeah. And then didn't think beyond that. Yeah. Fuck.
As far as things go, though, it seems like a dumb thing. You could have done the same thing to some jewelry store, right? And have
Yeah.
more value in like handfuls and not have giant things. that
Well,
are-
my thing was
Yeah.
they stole rifles, like high-end AR-15s. There were cabinets there full of $1,000 handguns that you could fill like 2 bags with and have more money than what they stole.
Well, it just tells you that they weren't knowledgeable about firearms then.
Oh, they were knowledgeable enough to grab the good stuff rifle-wise. They were grabbing the $2,000 guns to $1,000 guns.
So they didn't buy any crap ones. They
No, they
actually,
got like
okay.
the cheapest thing they got was a SIG M400, and it was just because it was on the wall next to the SIG MCX.
I got you.
So,
Yeah,
Well, you guys have to-
that was probably the result of their. Oh, what's selling big now? What does everybody want? You know.
they tried to break into one of the handgun cases, and they hit it 5 times with a hammer and couldn't break the glass. Apparently. So, yeah, I don't know how tough those cases are.
Pistols over there?
2 of them.
What's that?
Do they do NICS checks on pistols over there? Maybe they suck with long guns because they're easier to dump.
You can sell anything without a NICS check if you're a private individual here.
Huh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why they took them to a pawn shop because.
Well, pretty much every shop, at least ones I'm familiar with already, the towns are going to have a requirement that anything with a serial number, anything over $100 has to be, at least, even if you're not a pawn shop, has to be given to the sheriffs or the police, right, to see if it's stolen.
Right.
Especially that
They only do that around here at pawn shops. If you're just a gun store, a regular gun store, you keep a log of that sort of stuff, but like they never come look at it.
Oh,
But you still got it if they need it.
I know some places where they have to every night, anything with a serial number, anything over $100 that comes in that they buy as the store has to be recorded with the.
I think that's the way it is in Arkansas. So
Like the pawn shops.
yeah, I think that's the way it is in Arkansas. It's any shop, but
But that's
if they're purchasing from a private individual,
that shows you again how stupid they are. I was going to say, for the sake of cycle on the East Coast, there's other things we can talk about, and this is already off topic then, right? So
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
So it sounds like theoretically a house is still in the running because we get the idea shared resources and everything. Otherwise, we're looking at like a floor or a hallway or something down, some close together rooms at a hotel, and then I'm thinking we figured out food already, right? We're just going to pick stuff ahead of time so that we're not farting around like everybody always does, trying to figure out what to eat. We'll just say Mexican the first night, like something the second night, something the third night, right? Something. So we at least have a general idea. What about if we
absolutely
maybe we do as part of our prep work, as we got till April, we could do some looking around at different websites or something, or Yelp or some shit, and figure out some 2 potential restaurants for each night so that we have a backup.
So
well, here's another thought. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there. If we don't get a house, or if we do get a house, or we get at a hotel, maybe like a conference room,
barbecue.
We could we just get food delivered to the hotel or the house.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. But I think,
and especially if you're at a hotel, most hotels have a list of establishments that will deliver to that hotel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then if somebody wants pizza and somebody wants Chinese, big deal.
Right.
Make phone calls. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that and like
they
you
can
get
have
a
the hookers
house.
deliver the food.
Sorry, what you saying?
I said they could have the hookers deliver the food. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
There you go. If we get a house, we can just go get food and cook it at the house.
That's what I was saying. You could get like a grill or something and cook out.
If you got somebody who cooks, right? Personally, if I don't have to, I don't want to cook. So,
sandwiches. So I'm an easy kind of a guy,
Nobody wants to eat whatever boiled
bread.
stuff
I'm good.
Cooks.
Weird Canadian poutine.
Oh yeah, you would love my chicken.
Yeah, we don't want elk steak,
Much work.
or moose steak.
Somehow he boils a hamburger.
My grandma used to do that.
steamed cheeseburger.
I cook everything on a barbecue. I'm a guy. If it's not an open flame, I can't cook on it.
Anyway, so I think we got food pretty much figured out. And then what about, do we want to get into like how to attack the show, or I don't know.
Well, you know, that'd be interesting in people who have a interest in certain things, right? If we have a map, you know, that's going to say, well, they have.
Shit. Dano brought that up earlier. Let me get to Bob, because it's just Bob. Dano brought that up the other day, how to figure out the layout of the place. Yeah, there's a booklet. So I'll send you one of them booklets, Dano, so you can take a look at it. It's like a little brochure. Like if you went to a car show and it would tell you where Ford and Chevy are, right?
Yeah, but the problem is it's only the names of the people in the booths. It doesn't tell you what they're really carrying.
Exactly.
No, it's not necessarily a great index, but for going around and trying to orient yourself with where stuff is, you can make a little note to yourself. Like,
Yeah.
this
I
is
was
where
about to say you can use it like a map and like.
Let's say you know, you decide you find this plate that has great GI mags, and your name is Mr. Wright, and you don't want to let anybody else know about it. You say,
Right.
oh, by the way, I want to come back tomorrow. What table is this? Oh, this is table 79. You say, okay, and then you mark it.
Or it's on row 33C or something, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
these markings
I
on
used to
all
tell her that with the
and it will tell you their name. So if you remember, like, oh, it was over there, you'll remember that you'll see the name there. So maybe whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that booklet was there, and that's I'm just saying. We didn't know about it until like the last day either. I was just picking them up because I was looking for stuff to pick up, and I thumbed through it, and I'm like, oh, dang it, I didn't know this even existed.
been going there for 20 years and never seen one.
I thought
I think that
the mother
I
load
think-
of GI mags with the right kind of followers. And as Mr. Wright was describing it all to me, and then for suddenly he couldn't remember where it was.
Yeah.
Here's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
really, you got to be kidding! You can't remember where it is.
That's easy to find.
Yeah, no, you've been complaining about this for like a year.
Yeah, seriously, they're fucking $5 magazines. You can buy freaking shopping bags of them at every gun show.
This was well, not at my gun shows. You've seen some of my gun shows.
I talked to some guys I know from Illinois that set up in Illinois, and they talked my ear off about shows in Illinois that are big. So there are definitely big Illinois shows.
Oh no, there are larger ones, just not by me.
Yeah.
I think we got really lucky this past weekend between, you know, me, G, and Clover trying to do content. The ironic thing is of all the videos and tables that we did interviews and videos on the whole weekend, I don't think we overlapped hardly at all, which is kind of weird because we all are interested in different things.
Canadian gun. Everybody got video of that Canadian gun.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, for the most part, we weren't double dipping and all, which is kind of funny. We didn't do it on purpose. We just happened to not do it, you know.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
the point I was trying to make was that out of all of us, because we all have different interests that we're mostly interested in, some may overlap. But if we kind of assign, all right, well, you're into this stuff. Why don't you go and cover that section of the gun show? You cover this section.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is it's all intermixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they just had sections of this and sections, that'd be easy,
And
but it's
even
not
if
like
there were
that.
people doubled up on a table, the worst that happens, the table gets more coverage, and there's
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and that's not a problem.
And they love us even more.
Well, and it's one of the things where we don't have the same release schedule, and if
Right.
somebody releases something, like if Ghost released a video tomorrow that was
Which
something
I
I
am.
covered, I would wait and release it like next month. It's not like I've got so much content, I don't have to release that video on the same day he does.
On the
Yeah,
other
see, I'm
hand,
releasing my Edge Ordnance video tomorrow.
on the other hand, you could coordinate it. So if you both have coverage of a booth and you wanted to get it up there so that then you could contact the guy, you'd be able to say, here's all your coverage at once and not, you know, in a month. This will come.
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, sometimes it is a strategy to say, here's what's coming up now. And just because it's not over, this will be coming up next month. And then this other guy will be posting his video then the month after that. So not only do you get 3 videos, but they're going to cover the span of a quarter of the year.
Either that or you both put your videos up at the same time and actually shout out the other person's video. Then if you want to see another take on this,
Yeah, you could
so-and-so.
say, watch the next video coming up next month or in 2 months or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you say, you could also have them all at the same time. So
I'm just liking the idea that we're all putting out content all the time.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
What do you keep saying we? When's the last time you posted a video there? Video?
I don't know, last month.
1935.
I got a question.
He's
for you guys.
working. Leave Bob alone. Bob's been working on his Instagram. Yeah, he's working on his Instagram.
Instagram. I'm loving your Instagram. You're actually
Bob found Instagram.
yeah.
Did anybody happen to see at the show for sale palm pistols? And if so, what kind of prices were you seeing?
Of course.
They're always there.
I have them on my other computer. Or I got them on my other hard drive. I can go grab my hard drive.
Yeah.
Here's something I was going to say. You guys have heard me talk about the concept of starting off with like a penny and then going around with that penny and trading it for like a little army guy and then trading that army guy for like a snap cap and then going up till you get a gun.
Yeah.
Right? So at that show,
he's have a TV show about
trying
stuff
to have
like that.
one person waste their time doing it all day. What if it was a handoff? So the first person takes the penny and turns it into something. The next person takes it and turns it into the next thing. The next person turns it into the next thing, and so on. And then maybe it rotates through all of us. You know,
Why don't we start with more than a penny?
You know, they did that here in Canada online with a red paper clip, and the guy eventually ended up with a house.
Yeah, I want to start with a penny and get a gun and then donate the gun. And I'm just saying, instead of having to task one person with doing it all day and they can't do nothing else, unless they want to, I'm just saying now if you have a bunch of people going, it could be a handoff. Like, here, I got this. And now you walk around with that thing until you get it to something bigger, and then it goes to the next person and they trade up to the next bigger thing. Then no one's burdened with it. Everybody gets to participate. You do a video each time along, and then there's one video that shows the progression of how the item turned in from a penny into a gun, and then we present it as gun channels to some group, like Green Gray Foundation or something.
How you can turn pennies into guns.
You know what? I think a cooler thing would be if we did a gun challenge or gun channels challenge coin and traded that into a gun.
Or just a GunChannels patch.
Well, I can tell you that the original coins had to be earned.
Yeah, but we've all got GunChannels
I haven't
patches.
got mine yet, so and I'm pretty sure I earned it way before you did. So hey,
Something tells me I can
Well, what
go
I'm
buy
saying
one
is-
if I wanted one.
What I'm saying is we all have GunChannels patches. We could start
that
out
an
with a GunChannels patch.
No, I just know the guy who made the coins.
Oh,
Yeah, we met him. My video with him is coming out tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Shameless plug.
Yes, there are very cool coins though. Yeah.
His business cards were the baddest.
Oh my
thing
god,
I
they're
saw.
awesome. Absolutely.
See, I think it'd be cooler to like start with like some junk gun, like some, I don't know, high point or some 22 no one wants, and trade that into like something awesome.
Go from a high point to a python.
Just give it to a gun channels member, right? No matter where they live.
The fuck, no matter where they live. We're not all drunk, Bob.
No offense, we can't give it to.
If I get a green card, I can own a gun.
We're not going to give it to knives because they'll take it from them.
Yeah. See, if I had a green card, I'd be legal.
Why would they take it from knives?
He lives in California.
So, Tim, how do you spell your last name again? As I'm writing this
only
off.
11 years old. Dano, are you asking people for their store numbers again?
worked once.
All right, Bob, why do you have 2 Instagrams? Just wanted to know.
I have no idea.
Because he
I don't know.
his password and he starts a whole nother Instagram. He's got like 5 Instagrams. He seriously has 5 Instagrams or something.
I don't know. I have no idea. It
One
just
phone, and there's like
I
3
see the
Instagrams.
one. Biker Bob 1959, right?
yeah, that's the one I mostly use. It's the one I've got. I think 5 or 8, 10 pictures. I don't know.
What's the other one?
His name.
I don't remember.
The internet can only handle so much, Bob. 8 pictures.
You know what? I like to be out there. No, I'm not kidding, right? Because, you know, when you start telling ladies, hey, I'm on all these, you know, social platforms.
They run. They run quickly.
They actually really think you're kind of cool. I've had ladies say, you do a podcast. That's like being a radio star. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it is.
One of the funniest things that was said this whole weekend is when Clover walked up to some of the gun bunnies and said, "Hey, I'm Clover Tag from YouTube." And they're like, "Really?
I'd like to make you famous.
I want to make you famous."
I didn't know any different.
I got me my $49.99 Walmart camera here.
Now,
Can we
That was
go
perfect.
somewhere?
I want to make you famous.
I only remember seeing one or two what I would call gun bunnies at the show.
Oh no, there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
there's
I just
tons of them.
didn't
No, you didn't, because you're not paying attention.
You were looking for $5 magazines.
Yeah.
You know,
Excuse me.
they serve a purpose. Let me tell my story. The very first one, and I've got another selfie picture with some more of them that I haven't even done anything with.
1,400.
But Ghost will vouch for this because he's seen it. I walk over there, right, and I get the cards, and then the chick give me like an autograph poster, and I'm like, cool. I got those
right there. That's the one I want.
for like.
Shut up, Dano.
Got those for like giveaways. Anyway, I guess he don't hear me. I don't know. So
He didn't care.
yeah, apparently. So anyway, so I take the ask, hey, can we get a picture? Can y'all photobomb, selfie? Oh yeah. I'm like, cool. So I put that immediately up on Instagram, right? Before I can get back to the table, I've got like 25 or 30 extra Instagram followers.
Yeah, but what is the
Just from
retention rate on that?
I don't know. I don't care.
He got a
even
Instagram.
if he only keeps 10 of them, that's 10 more than he didn't have before the picture.
I don't Instagram anyway, so that was awesome for me. I was like, hey, that's cool. But my thoughts were, if that worked for that, what else would it work for? So
I'll tell you, you had one real funny. That blonde was something else.
Well, G-Webs was just showing some excellent pictures of some firearms where you all were jaw-jacking.
Oh,
Hello, I'm Clover Tack. I'm looking for
Okay.
girls that want to go wild.
oh, okay.
I swear to God, Dano, when I meet you, I'm going to show you what I didn't show Haas.
Yeah.
That sounds disturbing.
What the hell does that?
Yeah, I don't really want to see
I
that.
don't want to see that.
Is that a threat or a come on? Or?
Oh, I promise things a lot, and I'm not even sure I deliver on all of those, but, I never threaten.
Beautiful palm gun.
There you go, Dano.
Yeah.
They're your palm guns.
Yeah. And you know what? Most girls' hands would look really big on those, too.
No, it's
Shut the hell up.
that he was showing earlier that were really
You're
cool.
an asshole.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that one in the center right there. Oh, yeah.
What cartridge
That's what
does
she said. The
fire?
one in the center right there. Oh, yeah.
What was the name of that? Minneapolis something?
They make his hands look
I think
really
it's like the Chicago or the Cincinnati or something like that.
Minneapolis nickel.
There it is.
There you go, Dano. That's what you need. You know how big that'd make your hands look? Then you wouldn't be embarrassed about women's hands.
I just think the concept is so cool. It
What
just blows
caliber
my mind.
are they? Do you know?
Yeah, not much.
I know of
32
one
extra
from the Jam Davis
They're in
was 32.
They're on the fucking deck of cards. It's like a 32 extra short. They had to make the 32 shorter to fit in there.
I'm not opening up different cards.
All of my cards are still sealed.
Same here.
There's shit.
Collect.
There's no point.
Dude, I already been playing poker with those things. I've only
Well, I'm
had-
saying,
That's the other thing.
what's
is
the point of having a
you
deck of cards if you're not going to play with them?
They do go up in value, but don't worry. If they ever go up in value, I've got fuck tons, so I'll give you more.
We need to have a Gun Channels poker game with the Gun Channels cards.
Yeah,
That's
mine
awesome.
are all going away, so I need to get new ones. What the hell is that in your hand? It looked like a sprinkled wooden shoe.
One of them Mexican cookies. They're like, like an almond cookie from a Chinese restaurant.
That's disgusting.
They have chocolate and then
Oh
with
my
sprinkled-
God. Honest to God, that just about makes me throw up. There's so much sugar in that. That's so bad for you. Bad Chinese sugar, man.
Shut up.
Sugar. What are you talking about? It's a
Not
Mexican,
even real sugar. It's probably some chemical thing they cooked up.
it's a Mexican cookie.
Yeah, I bet they buy the stuff from the Chinese, though.
I love how everything is a Chinese conspiracy.
Yeah.
Except when it's Vietnamese. Yeah.
There's Hugo's.
I still need to go
Oh
there.
God, that looks good.
That's Hugo's right
All right, so if this is for real, so that's what he got, and I ordered 2 eggs and an order of hash browns.
That's a different
And
day.
the hash browns
This
were literally.
This is the hash browns I had the first day. From that pile of bacon and those pancakes, and then that's the hash browns they gave me.
With the pile
Yeah,
of
and they're basically like they take the baked potato, squish it up, and fry it a little bit. I mean,
Looks
it's awesome.
Fried potatoes or home fries or something.
That sounds good.
It's unbelievable.
A giant naked man with your dog.
The Tulsa Driller.
Oh, why is he naked?
He is shirtless.
He's not.
Why is he all beige then?
Here's what
That's
we
the color of the statue.
No.
So this is the second day, and I got eggs and that named potatoes and then a biscuit, and then he got that giant.
That's mine right there on the right. Those are my hash browns and 2 eggs.
That's the order of bacon. That's the order of bacon at that place. This biscuit, all that bacon, them 3 eggs, and that many potatoes underneath that bacon was $9.
I want that bacon, but it makes my heart hurt. Just looking at it makes my heart hurt.
Let's enhance this a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 slices of bacon.
That's almost a whole pack of bacon.
Seriously.
Jeebus, that is almost a pound of bacon.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, it was unreal.
Awesome. Anyhow.
Man, why does he get his bacon so cheap? That worries me.
Because I figure his brother-in-law is bacon.
His brother-in-law is a mass murderer, has been like stealing hookers and
Soylent Green is people.
pigs, right? And that's why they've got so many pigs, because they're not having to pay for food. So,
oh, did Charlie go into the biggest gun show in the world, Bob? Charlie was in there hanging out?
no, because they wouldn't let him in, even with that little harness I made for him out of duct tape.
They did this dog in there.
Yeah. How did you? Oh, right, you had a table. Now, if you had a table when I was there, if you had actually been there when I was there and had a table, yeah, probably Charlie could have been in there. But no.
Could have brought him in with me. I didn't know that you wanted your dog in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
All you gotta do is go online and spend like $50 or $60 and get him to be one of those service dogs, and they can't say no.
Well, I know, but he's such
like any dog could be a service dog.
Yeah, but he'd be like every other dog you'd see. He'd be like losing his fucking shit because he.
You ever seen this thing? I think it's for scuba diving. The spider co.
That's crazy.
What is that?
No, I think it's for scuba diving, like for picking shit when you're scuba diving.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Shit picking.
Pretty cool.
Well, and that you can put that up against an artifact you find and measure and photograph it.
Oh yeah, it's probably an art like what do you call those people?
Pick it off.
Underwater archaeologist.
Yeah.
Archaeologists, yeah.
Use this as a crowbar to steal it.
Before the big boulder comes rolling down on you.
Then
Oh
use-
yeah, no, I mean it's a tool for scuba divers for sure, and it allows them to, show measurements and stuff like that, as well as it's got a reasonable, useful blade and shit.
So this
Oh,
year,
yeah,
this
there's the exhibit. I love that exhibit.
whole bottom part was NRA museum exhibits. I guess they had the chance to win thousands of dollars. They said.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell? They have a freaking smudge on the lens. It looks shitty. It's all shitty.
I did a video on that exhibit. It's awesome.
Yeah, I did too.
How did you?
So G-Webs, on the King of Diamonds, which has the palm pistol, it says Protector Palm Pistol. Protector, is that the name of the company, or is that just the generic name for the gun?
I think that's the name that I use because that one's in Chicago. They probably made them other places. I think
heard them called Chicago palm pistols.
a lot of times.
Hey, is there a pipe under that
Yeah, right here.
in the
The
picture?
Meerschaum,
It's like a Meerschaum pipe.
Yeah,
Look
470.
at that.
So you can have a naked lady on your pipe, Clover.
I'm telling you.
Just
So,
think about that while you're feeling the front of the pipe while you're smoking. I think
It's for impressing the gun bunnies.
relaxing.
Cop a feel while you smoke a pipe. Yeah.
There you go.
Those things are pretty cool too.
Look at that thing. Isn't that crazy?
Shat look.
35.
Those hold like
So,
four
and I
shots.
think that a lot of these things got made and then immediately ripped off. So I think the Protector was the first one in the blue book. I went with whatever the blue book told me was like the first one, like Derringer and stuff.
Okay.
Like Reed make these things first, and then then filthy Europeans would steal everything and just start making it, right?
Yep.
And
Europeans.
would do it.
Usually made them better, though. That's the
They're
problem.
evil over on the other side of the ocean. I'm telling you, man. I know. They keep coming here.
All the good ones crossed over, and then the best ones left Canada and came to America.
Yeah, screw you.
I really.
I
I
just
saw one of these I've seen one of these before that wasn't much bigger than a quarter. Some guy walked in off the street to the gun shop when I was working there, and it might have been this size. No, it was smaller than any of these. But this little design that Remington, didn't some Remington first model or something, and then but it was really, really, really tiny. It was like not much bigger than a 50-cent piece. And he's like, "What is this?" And I go, "I don't know, but I'll give you $50 for it."
I think I've seen that too. It's on a 2mm Pinfire's page, or one very much like it.
Pinfire.
I don't know. I didn't have a chance. The guy's like, "Nope," and he left, and I didn't have a chance to even fiddle with it. And
I
I've
don't
seen
know, that could be 22 short, and
yeah, that's what I think. 22 short, the one I seen.
and that's like a belly gun, right?
I want one of these too for some reason. I don't know why. Just because they look weird. That's a Colt.
Looks like the source that the bacon comes from.
Yeah. Oh, any kind of 41 caliber Derringer would be cool. Whether a singular.
Actually, a lot of these are on the cards. I think I have one of these. Oh, I know I have one of those. I have one of these. Oh, just like that.
Yeah, you can't tell that you're obsessed with Derringers at all because there's like a whole suit of the cards with pocket pistols.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's what was in the Old West. They didn't have fucking,
Right.
fancy whip guns or nothing.
They didn't have the 380s and that the ladies carry now. They just had Derringers.
Do you recall
I carry a
generally
380 because it makes my
short
hand look big.
rimfire became
Why Dano likes 9mm, right? Because he can hold a bullet. It looks like his fingers are really big.
Yep. The 22 short rimfire when that was generally available at first.
That was like the 1850s or 60s.
Okay.
I don't think it was that early.
Yeah,
It was
22 short was the first cartridge.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that early.
Yeah,
That was-
when was that Smith & Wesson #1, G-Web?
1857.
There you go.
All
I thought
right.
it was 53, but I guess it was 57.
Yeah. Okay, I'm wrong. I didn't think it was that early. But
You're too busy trying to make fun of me.
well,
Well,
it's not
Smith
that
did
hard.
them way before Colt because Smith had the patent on bored through cylinders. So Colt couldn't use that for another like 13 years after that, or 16 years, whatever it was.
And yet Smith did almost nothing with it. That's the thing that kills me, right? They could have been.
They owned the market for 20 years and didn't do anything.
Yeah. Really?
I got a question for you.
1990s, the popular gunfighter gun was the 32 Colt cap and ball.
Did you find that guy who was selling all sorts of AK mags?
Yeah,
Oh,
I went to go see that. Yeah.
I was looking for pictures to make the show, like the diversity of the show, the diversity of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I saw something was interesting, I liked it. Of course, like I bought those 50s right there.
Because well, at least when I was there, there was some, but there wasn't a lot of.
Is that an
AK
Orlican? Or what was that? The 20mm.
USM 24 M3. I don't know.
Looks like an Orlican, but I don't know.
Dummy gun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the U.S. did produce the Orlican.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Everybody used that gun in World War II.
Even the Japanese, which is really strange.
Well, the Germans did too.
They have a couple cannons show up.
Manufacture.
Yeah, there were cannons there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those holsters. Oh man, I bought a holster for my single action. The problem is in Canada, 4.5-inch barrels. Everywhere else, it's like 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch. So it's half an inch short. I had to modify it.
I've got a 4 3/4-inch holster. I think that's a standard Colt length.
Huh. Yeah, I find them hard to find up here.
I got a question for you guys from Ellis. He's looking at a red dot for his AR, and he's looking at a military grade Holosun red dot. Anybody have any experience
I
with those?
just bought one, my second one of those. My first one is awesome. I got it for like $100 used.
I almost
Yep.
bought one. They have an excellent reputation.
Yeah, I know that, but I've never had one, so I didn't know. I don't want to give him an answer because I've never
crap
actually
out of
used
mine.
one. So,
Well,
would you
and I was
recommend if
also
you found a
talking
good
to
deal
Mr.
on
Wright at the time, and his business involves those sorts of items. And his impact at the time when I was talking to him is he was also heard positive things from the customers.
Well, Ellis is out not listening to this, so I'm sure he just heard you guys so good. He was asking a question in a text, and I didn't.
I would make sure I got the one that took the T1 mounts and not the one that doesn't, though. It's a little bit more money. But it's going to be worth it in the long run, I would think.
There you go, Ellis.
I don't know. Should Alice be even allowed to have a gun? Well, you know, there's all those questions about Alice.
Those mini guns are cool.
With the bayonet. Comes with dummy cartridges, a solid brass, one RF. Working nice. Flush the magazine. They will feed.
He's flagging the shit out of you with whatever he's got that loaded with.
Right.
It's a solid brass.
And this is not a plastic toy. This is
all steel. No castings. Handmade.
very neat. Thank you for the opportunity to check it out.
I like the Panzerfaust.
I think she said she bought it for $2,700.
Now, was the guy there that actually has wooden guns that actually function, but they don't fire, but the slide and...
I've seen those there before, but I didn't this time.
Yeah, I saw those when I was there, but yeah. Look at those guns, man. Look at full ammo. I love those guns.
I did a shitty job of taking pictures.
You did, but we forgive you because you took them.
100 at a time.
Yeah. Oh, hundreds. I mean, think about it. Oh, Jesus.
It's all the lever actions.
Now, I got a question on photography. How many pixels are you shooting to where if you zoom in, you can actually still read the tag?
I'm running at 16 megapixels. That's why some are.
Okay.
I don't know what my phone does. Whatever it does.
Oh, man, those are beautiful lever guns.
Shut up. You cannot.
Now, I know there's a lot of variation in caliber of lever guns, but like at that table, as you were walking by, were they generally 30-30s or were they something else?
Those 1860 Henrys would be either the original 44 Henry cartridge or could be something modern. Then those brass receiver ones next to it are 1866s, and they're the same. Then the steel frame ones would be 1873s or 1892s. And those could be in literally anything. Like 4440 would be the normal cartridge for an 1873.
Good cartridge, too, by the way.
Could be a 3840, could be a 32 Winchester centerfire, could be just tons and tons of cartridges. Like I've even seen Model 92s and 357 mag that were converted to 30s. And then some of those are actually rifles that aren't carbines or whatever. They're like in 4570 or 4590.
Would you say that's the lever action was made in the most variation of calibers?
Like which one
of rifle? Well, of rifles in general.
Well, bolt
pistols,
actions are probably way more than lever actions.
I say, oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like the turn of the century, like Mauser alone made like probably 100 different chamberings or something crazy like that.
Yeah, you got to remember back in the day there were so many different chamberings. than there are.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a gun and then trying to find ammo for it back at that time.
Well, like 4440, 45 Colt, and a few of those would be like really, really common and easy to find. So it'd be like 9mm and 5.56 today.
You think this is saying $16,000?
I think that's 16-inch.
16-inch for 26.
A volcanic?
There's just no price on it.
No, the price was that 2,000 there next to it.
Yeah.
It's $2,689.
No, a volcanic is going
It's
to
an odd
cost.
number for a price.
It's going to cost
Is
way.
that a volcanic or is that a Henry?
That's a volcanic. There's no way.
Oh, well, maybe that's just like a lot number then.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's got numbers and it's outside.
But this thing, there's like maybe 1,000 of them or something.
It's cool you got a picture of that because people are giving you shit about it being on the cards.
Yeah, that's why I did this.
I bet you like either the prices on the other side of the tag or that lot number is they have in a spreadsheet, so no one can really know what the price is.
You know, one thing that going to that show did to me personally is it really blew my mind as far as how little I actually know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen several things I did not know existed.
Well, you know, I'm not even gonna go there, Dano. But yeah, it was an amazing show. Let's put it that way.
There are like, I don't know, books upon books worth of knowledge sitting in that room that will never be written down.
Yep.
Kind of
Yeah.
sad.
So this section in the back is how, and when the show I went to, that was just dead space. And I guess you guys said you had a book author back there in this one.
Well, John Locke was there last year in the fall
Right.
as the speaker.
And
I don't know
this is where
about was there anybody there in the spring?
this is where the NRA booths are this time.
The only one I ever went and saw for the speakers was the guy who was the captain of the Enola Gay was there.
Oh, that'd be
That
kind
was
of cool.
pretty cool. That was back in the 90s, I think, though.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to go to. Listen to that guy talk.
I got his autograph somewhere. I got to shake his hand. It was pretty cool.
You guys act like your flashlights are all modern.
That's back from when the FBI held them above their head.
Winchester.
That's the first tactical flashlights right there.
They were so tactical, they were practical.
That's right.
And practical was tactical.
Still is.
Still is, yeah.
Cannons. Miniature ones.
What are those? Those
Those little things you were shooting, G, aren't they?
You know what? Even the miniature cannons are pretty badass when you look at some of those bigger ones.
I wouldn't want to get hit with one of those ball bearings.
You're shooting a half an ounce of lead, guys. It might only be moving at 900 feet per 700 feet per second. It's still going to make a, oh, yeah, bad.
Yeah.
These things are 35, I think, on their website, and then they were selling them. This guy was selling them for 49, and it's either exact ripoff or he's just reselling the other guys'
I
ones.
think he's just reselling.
I just went to them whenever I first seen them, and I was like, "Send me some, and I'll shoot them." And they were like, "Here you go." And they sent me one of each color.
Those things are pretty sweet.
Awesome.
That one company only sells cannons and flags. It's like only
I
at a
like
gun
that.
show would
That's
you see that
awesome.
combination.
I love that. That's so sweet.
Yeah, you know, there is that LGBT. That's an actual Facebook group.
See this? See this?
Huh?
When we see the tiny hands.
I was digitally removed from some certain people's pictures.
Look at the tiny, tiny little hands, though. Look at the tiny little hands everybody's
But
got.
see, my hands look bigger than some of the other hands in that picture. How does he say that my hands look like baby hands?
Hey, they're, what the hell is everybody talking about hands for?
Well, it's
You
damn
didn't hear about it? Yankee goes on to one of my Instagram with that picture. Who's the guy with the green watch? He looks like he has baby hands. And I was like, my hands look bigger than others.
So here's those. What do they call this thing?
Oh, he was out of Matt's chat
Philly
the other night
cheese.
to let Yankee in, wasn't he?
Yeah,
This is the Philly cheese sandwich that they were all going on and on about. This
that's
cost
so good.
$10.
That's not bad.
That's good.
Big chunk of meat. I like that. And oh wait,
really
a blonde girl serves it to you. That's even better.
Look at this thing. That's a 12 gauge.
What is that?
12 gauge.
I simply must have.
This guy was
Oh,
buying
okay.
all this stuff in this
I'm on
bin.
my phone. I can't see anything.
It's a 12 gauge
I
made just for
simply
Ghost to make his
must
hands look
have it.
tinier.
Right. That's why I carry it. That's why I carry a 380 to make my handles look bigger.
This is the 12 gauge with the glass in there. Then this was, if you spun it around, I don't know if I got pictures of the other side or not, or video or anything, but if you spun it around, I guess I did, then he was showing
Those big old paws.
it's like, you know, like the lines in it or whatever coordinate with the other side. That'll tell you what the name of the powders are. So this is like a salesman sample to show the various powders,
That's cool.
and it's just like
Pretty
happens to
sweet.
be in the shotgun shell. And then
That's
this
long
thing
one,
is just a
man.
super long shotgun shell that they did for some friend of theirs, whoever the shotgun company was, like Peters or something.
There's
They-
someone that used to give those away on tours.
Yeah, they just made a whole bunch of them as like a thing, and then they filled them
Other
with shit.
than a break action, that's the only thing you could put it in.
There's
No,
nothing you
it's
can
not
put it
real.
in.
It's just shot. So
Oh.
it's you can't put in anything because it wouldn't fit in all the way.
Well, I don't know what it is. but if you could put that in a break action.
No, there's a
No, there's it
No, the
tapers
chamber's
down.
too short.
You know, the thing that kills the
Barrel
wire.
tapers down.
yeah. A shotgun barrel isn't just a straight pipe. It's like there's a step in it at the end of either
Now-
like 2 3/4 or 3 inch.
Now you could
You get them that say you can't put a 3.5 in.
you could build a shotgun that you could put it in.
Yes.
Out of pipe.
You could put it in a pipe. But
Yeah.
I asked the guy, or the guy said he doubts there's powder in it because it would blow up everything that you put it in. So
Yeah.
it's shot from like here down. It's shot. It's just like a giant piece of lead.
So it must be like a lead,
the-
solid lead pipe.
Almost, except that you can tell it's shot, you know, so it's
For a
got
lead
kind
bar.
of weird feeling where it's not solid, you know. It's really neat. It's
So it feels kind of like a
Oh,
sap.
that'd work great. It wouldn't leave a bruise if it's shot. Because I know if you use a bag of shot,
it's
just like
crimped.
phone book, it doesn't leave a bruise.
It's just crimped like a shotgun shell in the end, so it's pretty fragile. And plus, it's got to be old. I'm for sure it's old.
That's true. It'd probably break.
And it's just the way this guy's displayed all this stuff. That was interesting.
How many ammo collectors did you see?
Not very many, but I just thought that was interesting because he can write the name of the stuff all on the bullet on this little pill bottle. And who doesn't, you know, anybody can get a bunch of pill bottles. And then that way he's not writing it right on the bullet.
Are some of those pill bottles or like cigar tubes?
Well,
They actually look like coin jars for like collecting
all
coins,
kinds of-
nickels, dimes,
It's all kinds of stuff.
quarters.
I'm sure it's just whatever he can find or get cheap, whatever.
Yeah, some of them are probably those pop bottles that haven't been blown up yet and stuff.
Is I've seen those at my
These are bullets, guys. Most of these are the size of test tubes and like eyedroppers. These aren't.
Some of those are test tubes too.
Yeah, I mean the ones with the flat bottoms, not the ones with the round bottoms.
I think that's the guy I got the Vetterli ammo from.
All 4 rounds.
Really?
You shot it yet?
Yeah, it is because they were in those little boxes that you just showed.
So this is the guy whose tire tracks we just watched a minute ago. That's this guy. I walked over at the show and said, "Hey, if you want, I'll take a picture of your table when it's all busy, so you can, you know, use it in marketing or whatever. Show people how busy because he does have a busy table."
Yeah, like every show he's swamped. He has really good prices. I've been trying to get him to do an online thing, but it's like he's usually about the same as Buds, but isn't an asshole. So even Yankee could buy from him.
Oh, those
Hey, G, are you thinking about doing the auction with your bayonets or some of them?
That's a
I'm,
secret.
at some point, yeah. I just have to figure out how to jockey it all or how to do it all, and then find out when they only do certain auctions at certain times.
You better not sell that bayonet I want, buddy.
Hell, when is that?
Well, you know, I'm not going to tell it because somebody here will buy it just to piss me off.
I'll buy it
No,
right now.
Know us so well.
No, I just don't.
That's only Foos. If Foos was here, he could buy it from
No,
underneath.
I know Dano really well.
Foos is
Dano
a
is
thing now.
bitter about all kinds
All
of
those
weird
case trappers and stuff.
For those not in the know, getting foosed is now officially a term. Foos did it to me. I did gun websites.
It's a verb.
It's a verb.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Foos isn't really into bayonets, but I know somebody who would do it just to piss me off, and they're in this chat, so I'm not going to tell you.
Dano.
I was about to say.
Sorry.
I don't own a single bayonet.
Carry a lot of animosity there, Tim.
I'm just, you know what? And everyone who owns a rifle that takes a bayonet should own a bayonet. It is the ultimate zombie equalizer.
I have knives and a roll of duct tape.
It don't work. I tried that with
don't have bayonet lugs.
I tried putting a flashlight on my shotgun and going out and getting a raccoon one night. And yeah, after about 8 rounds, the duct tape melts.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all see Ralph was in the chat over on Gun Channel?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, why isn't Raph in here?
I don't
He probably doesn't
know.
know about this.
Raph.
Yeah,
Raph.
I was running this because I saw it on Instagram. The 2 hands burger that cost $10.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was the thing that really bugged me was the food there was ridiculously.
Well, you got to figure you're paying to not have to leave the show too.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, I would leave the show and just go to my camper and have something to eat, and plus I had to let
beans on your hobo stove.
Hey, I ate and drank at the show and Wanamaker 3 days on $20.
Oh, I drank. Although I always made sure I went to my camper to have a pee because I wasn't going to do it in those bathrooms.
Yeah, they're like disgusting after the first hour of the show. So.
Yep. Yeah. After the first hour, it's like you don't go in there.
I wouldn't go in there 5 minutes afterwards. So.
Well.
No, they're usually good, like up until like the public's been there for about an hour.
Yep.
And what are you going to do?
I don't understand that.
For the rest of the day?
I think they can just be that disgusting in a public bathroom.
It happens at the fair here too. Same bathrooms.
Yeah, it's just you know, what the hell is wrong with people?
I don't know.
At my job, we got a whole bunch of employee bathrooms and only one like bathroom for like the truck drivers to use, and it's like outside, and like
it's like a hole in the ground.
It's crappy. Like it wasn't renovated when all the other bathrooms were renovated, but I use it because it's cleaner than any of the employee bathrooms.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I guess that figures with probably not that many truckers stopping in there.
Oh no, we got
nicer to it
in there all day long. I just work with some nasty people, I guess.
All right, hey Roland, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
The actual building, what was that originally built for?
It was to show off oil equipment. So like drill rigs and pumps.
Okay.
They had the.
I figured that would have a catwalks and all that stuff. I figured there was something that was.
There's a plaque somewhere around there that talks about it, but it was built for the International Petroleum Exposition. It happened in Tulsa every year, like from the 40s or 30s through like the 70s.
Because
we were the oil capital.
It's obviously a very odd designed building, so I figured there was a specific purpose for originally,
Like, there's been large aerospace here in Tulsa, like since the start of planes. So I think they had the guys who built hangars build it.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking originally. Is it might have been some of the planes because maybe they could pull them into the front, that lower level or something like that. But I wasn't sure.
Aren't big enough for planes, though.
No, it was Wichita.
It could have been at one point.
Times, right? So I'm pretty sure Tulsa had a lot of manufacturing in World War II for airplanes, because I know Wichita was a big production center for, I think, B-29s.
Well, Tulsa had McDonnell Douglas here for like 80 years. So
no way.
They built B-24s, B-25s, I think.
Yeah.
And then
built to do sub-assemblies, all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, that's why still American Airlines maintenance plant is here, is because McDonnell Douglas used to make their planes, and they built up here, and then McDonnell Douglas closed, and they still kept the base here.
Well, you still do the maintenance and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just because you're not producing them there, they got the infrastructure to do.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen the Tulsa airport or not. I guess Cycle Camp did, but it's actually pretty big for a small town airport.
Yeah, well, you see, that's another thing. I don't think Tulsa's a small town. I mean, to me, Tulsa is like a medium city.
I would agree. But
How many people are in Tulsa?
that's
500,000, 750,000, somewhere in
I
there.
think it's like 750,000, almost 1,000,000, like 800,000 or 900,000 maybe.
Yeah, it's like
I got you.
Like up here, it's well, at least where I live, it's a decent sized city, right?
But that's in Canada too.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like we have cities.
See, but they use metric system up there, so it's a little different.
But we got cities like
you only count 1/3 of every person.
we got cities like Toronto that I hate that city. It's just a cesspool. But then you got cities like Winnipeg that's 1.5 million. Yeah,
Toronto is like northern New York, isn't it?
What? Oh yeah, it's almost New York. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tulsa proper is only 400,000, but like all of the little towns around it that you guys consider to be Tulsa, are 981,000.
Right. Well, and that's what happens, right? Like there's always small towns 50 miles away from the big town. And
we need to be like metroplexed, but no one's ever going to do it.
That's like DFW is the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex is like 9 million people.
Yeah.
But Dallas itself is like 1.5
It's like,
or something like that.
You can drive from Tulsa to Broken Arrow to Coweta and never have a gap in between. It just goes from city to city.
Yeah.
Like the signs change. That's the only thing you can realize is happening.
Oh, Dana went to bed.
He ran out of things to say.
Yeah, thank God.
Wow.
Well,
I know Dano and I have been button heads since we first met each other.
I know.
We're just different people, and sometimes he gets on my nerves more than I get on his.
I think you guys should have a Sharpie knife fight and work it out.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him. That's the thing. I've never met Dano in person yet.
He was there last year when you were here.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
No, I was in Tulsa
in April, and so was Dano.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't here. No, he wasn't here in April. So not
been there last November.
Last gun show. I was here the one.
Well, maybe he was here in November last time.
Right, he was there in November when everybody else was go shooting.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I didn't get to go shooting at the range, which I was really.
We didn't do a range day this year. We should have.
Yeah.
Although I don't know where we would have fit it in.
That was brought up last night, I think, on Night Strike show, and everyone liked the idea. Like J.M. Davis on like Thursday, range day on Friday, and the show on Saturday, Sunday. They like that.
The thing is, if you do the range day on Friday, then you guys are on your own pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to set up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they were saying is if you split up J.M. Davis and the show, it's not 3 consecutive days of hell, hellacious walking, you know.
Well, the thing is, J.M. Davis deserves a day to itself, not just, going in there.
Well, yeah, Clover and I were there from, 10 to 5?
To be honest, I don't know why you guys don't come on Friday. Yeah,
we go on Friday and do J.M. Davis on Friday.
Past, I can get you guys in, or G-Webs if he has table can. There's a lot of stuff there on Friday that gets sold and is gone by, the time it opens on Saturday.
Well, I know. I went and spent way too much money last time I was there. It was I was scraping for funds to get to the next. It's one of the things when I went down to Texas, and it cost me a fortune to stay down there. Plus, stupid toll roads and stupid highways and blowing tires up and shit like that. So it was just like Texas became a nightmare, which sucked because I really wanted to go down. I wanted to go see Matt. I was only 280 miles from Matt, so it was like, that's like a one, short little drive, eh?
Jonas, the one who strikes at night.
Oh,
We did say his name 3 times, didn't we?
oh, Jesus, not this boy. Lord Thunder and Jesus, I can't believe we let this boy into the chat, eh?
We're just trying to figure out a way to get you to Tulsa in April, Night Strike.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start a GoFundMe so I can go this year. Next year.
Yeah, I think we could actually probably make enough money to post them there.
Why don't we just get him arrested and then we'll have the cops transfer him and let the state pay for it?
There you go.
Idea.
There you go.
That's an
Wow.
excellent
I
idea.
think there's a federal
Never
medical
thought of
facility
that.
not far from us. So
No, I don't want to be in one of those facilities again.
The psychiatric ward?
yeah, it's like that.
We don't
Sweet.
talk about that.
He definitely would qualify for that, especially if you wear the blue dress.
Okay, that stuff I don't joke about. So moving on. What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
Just talking Tulsa.
Bringing up bad things from my childhood. Damn it. I had a very
There's joke in there
troubled.
somewhere.
Well, yeah, the joke is I had a very troubled childhood.
Okay.
And it's more
That's,
It's more depressing than it is funny.
That just kind of ruined the whole mood, didn't it?
Anyway, so yeah, you guys are still on that Tulsa high.
So once again, you come into a chat and like bum everybody out. Jesus, dude.
You do realize that this is a Tulsa chat room, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the title says? I think somewhere.
Bob didn't go this year though.
No, but
He went last year.
I just clicked on whatever Hangouts link was in the chat. I didn't even know.
In my defense, it's
Oh, dang.
the link is in the lobby. I thought that was a lobby chat.
and
Yeah,
less
me
time
too.
than
Damn.
you did.
Sorry, I
man.
didn't realize I wasn't welcome.
Yeah,
No, we didn't say
that means
that.
me and Potatoes and Lead need to go and give Knives some attention because apparently you guys are giving Knives to the wolves.
You know what?
Wow.
Turtles are pretty much going to get fed to whatever finds them, right? Because
Turtle's good, man, if it's done right.
you know what?
What?
It actually
Oh,
is. I mean,
the Native
Abraham,
Americans-
You're talking about me bringing a tent down, Bob? Life and soul, you are.
The Native Americans used to think of turtles as portable food because you catch one and then just carry it around with you.
Yeah.
no shit, right? Because it's
They
safe.
last forever, man. They don't fucking die.
Just like poke lettuce at it and give it water every once in a while.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be that often.
Yeah.
You can do that with snakes too, eh? You get a non-poisonous snake. You can put that in your backpack. Keep it in there,
Yeah,
right?
that's another one. Like reptiles are some of the hardiest animals because they just don't die.
That's right. And like make all the fun you want out of it. If you're ever in a real situation and you see a nice, corn snake right there, I mean, geez, that's
I
a lot
can't
of
think
meat.
of a snake I would want to do that with, though.
What the fuck are we talking about snakes for?
I thought this was the Tulsa chat.
No, it went on.
I hate snakes in every way possible.
Then Night
Oh,
Strike came in
terrified of
and
them.
railed everything.
Terrified of snakes.
All Bob's
Anything that moves
fault.
that fast without legs just is crazy to me.
I had a pet.
So those like quadruple
python, I think it
amputees
was?
freak you out too?
Yeah, a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Guys, I'm gone. It's been fun.
Oh, before you
Yeah,
go,
good.
I heard that you and Ghost got home at like ridiculous.
You know
times.
what? You know what? 2 strike, you can bite me.
2 strike.
I felt bad for you because you had to go to work like in an hour or something after you got home. From what G said,
Me? Oh, I didn't.
I thought
I got back at 3 and had to be at work that morning. Yes, that was.
No,
That's
I got home at like 6:30.
that's what I heard.
This is why we absolutely have to have a central location because these fucking guys just will not shut up in there in a parking lot.
Yeah.
You got guys coming in, security, police. You know,
The security was the best.
they just keep on gassing. They say goodbye about 87 times. Well, okay, it's time to go, and then an hour later, it's well.
Like kids leaving summer camp.
We had our own little lobby chat in the parking lot. That's what we had.
Yeah, until that security guard came out and asked you guys what you were doing.
Oh, he was
Yeah, he was
cool,
all
though.
cool. He's like,
He
yeah.
was
He was
cool,
like, all right, y'all have fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. No
Like, well,
problem.
you aren't lighting a hobo fire back here, so
Right.
guess you're up to no good.
Okay, I'm gone.
So you
See you, man.
Good night, Clover.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be leaving here in a minute. It's 12:20.
Are you arming potatoes again?
Huh?
Playing with his hardware.
Oh, sorry.
When
Wow.
did G leave?
yeah, he left a little bit ago. I thought he was coming back, but he hasn't.
No,
Say goodbye. So
he's off of gun channels right now, so I don't
Just
think
fondling
he's
my
coming
brother.
back.
maybe he fell off of the internet wherever he was or something.
I thought he was home by now.
I don't know.
I think he got home because I talked to him early in the day, and he said he only had about 5 hours to
He
to
was
home.
hurrying
So,
home because of that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to ask him if he transported okay. You get rid of it yet?
No, he's gonna have to have it for a while.
He's gonna have it until SAR, I believe.
Yeah,
But he probably doesn't want us talking about that.
right, probably. All right, boys and girls, I'm out of here.
All right, have a good one.
It's been real and it's been fun. It's been real fun. See y'all tomorrow.
Later.
Okay, so that's it. Me and Roland are the only ones left that were actually at the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you count Bob too,
No, Bob wasn't at the show.
he's
He
seen
went
it
to
in years
last one.
past, though.
You keep giving these guys passes for this stuff all the time.
I give Bob no passes. Bob doesn't deserve passes.
What's the significance of the wad of cash on the cat?
Cat's a drug dealer.
Oh. Okay.
He's got a gun. He's sitting there. Look at the cat. The cat is completely out of his mind and hopped up on drugs. And he's got a sack of cash.
Dude.
Well, if the cat was holding the gun at an angle, then that would make sense to me, you know.
And I was at the show last year when no one else showed up except for
Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright and
Foose, I think.
Well,
no, I don't think Foose was.
No, Foose wasn't there that year.
I saw B226 because he was at his table.
Raphael went, I know, last year.
No, he didn't. No, I
He
didn't.
went last November.
Yeah, last November he went. Foose was there last November.
That was over a year ago.
We're talking 6 months ago.
Oh, 6 months ago.
Yeah. Mid-season.
Foose and I were the only ones that bought guns at the show.
I bought a barrel last year.
Yeah, actually, G-Web's got a really nice jacket this year, cheap.
Yeah, it was like $20 for a Carhartt, basically brand new.
Yeah,
My company is buying us all personalized Carhartts, so we could get our name.
He cut the Carhartt tag off because he doesn't want to advertise, though. I'm like, it's just weird.
It's G-Web, so I'm not gonna put anything past him.
Yeah, G's a little funny like that.
He's like, they should be paying me for wearing that jacket.
Exactly.
Well, no, he wouldn't even take that. He's a little weird like that. Like I said, be right
I
back.
get not wanting to be a billboard for something, but like the itty bitty Carhartt label, I don't see that being an issue.
I don't know. I felt the same way about the Izod shirts there.
I'll agree with that.
That little alligator, I hated that son of a bitch.
And the polo shirts are the same way.
Tags belong, tucked behind your neck where nobody can see them.
Yeah.
If they can't tell the quality of the shirt you're wearing just by the shirt, they don't need to know.
Trying to think of what else people bought. Foose bought a rifle there.
Yeah, Foose bought a rifle. Did he tell you? Did you hear him talking about it though when he got it home? How screwed up it was?
He texted me that it was actually 308 or something like that.
Yeah. Not only that, the bottom plate was missing the
Yeah, he's had all sorts of issues with it.
Yeah, and it was like epoxy closed because it didn't actually have
Yeah.
that mechanism is where you slide it.
That's pretty
I
funny.
have to look at mine. It's still full of gun gunk, so I haven't. I don't want to tip it around because it'll leak all over my floor.
Part of that was he bought a $150 gun from a pawn shop that was out there, though.
Yeah, it was still a good price.
Yeah.
He could get the small parts that it was.
It was a functional Mauser for $150.
Yeah, that's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. It's a mix master and it has all those issues, but like he's pretty much got it all running, I think.
Yeah, I had one more gun I was interested in. It was only $250, and I'm sure I could have talked him down to $175.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to deal with any more, stuff than I was already dealing with. But it turns out if I'd have got it and borrowed the G's gun case, I could have avoided the $100 charge, for being overweight on the other gun case.
Well, in the future, if you just want to ship some stuff home, we could probably do that too. I mean, I know some FFLs out there who would probably handle that for you if you wanted it.
Yeah, but that's true. It would only cost me $25. But now I've got the nice case. I'll just bring it with me. But the thing is, checking it in as a second piece of checked baggage on Delta, it's $35 each way.
Yeah.
So you're right there. You spent $75 even if you come home empty.
Well, and you can ship a pretty damn big box of guns for like $70.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, my thing with that was, I was depending on strangers for all my transportation and stuff, and I didn't want to put that on them.
Yeah.
If I'd had my own wheels, that would have been a different story. Then I'd be going to shipping places and gun dealers and shit like that. But
yeah.
Since I was depending on people being nice to me to ferry me here and there.
Well, honestly, with all of us there, you almost didn't even need a car.
I did. But unfortunately, I broke the first one I rode in, so it didn't work out that well.
That's true. I'm sure you broke Ghost Alternator. That's how that works.
Yep, because my watch went about the next day. So just anything electrical I was coming in contact with was not doing well.
I still can't believe that one girl asked us if we were cops and if we sold weed like within 2 seconds of each other.
I'm sorry I missed that. I was upstairs at the time.
I think you were headlong in the car still at that point.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Like, it was Mr. Wright and I were standing out at the front of the car, and everybody else was, like, over by the engine working on it.
Oh, we were still working on it.
And this girl pulls up in, like, this shitty-looking, like, Honda, rolls down the window, and is like, hey, you guys cops? Mr. Wright and I looked at each other like, no.
Should have said yes.
We were thinking, I could tell, like, from looking at him, we were both thinking, should we just say yes? What the fuck is this girl going to ask us?
Should have said yes.
Well, like you said, it wasn't the best neighborhood in the world, but it was a really nice hotel.
Yeah. I actually forgot those little hotels were over there.
I would stay there again, no problem.
Did that have an elevator?
No, it did not. But it did have an extra wide staircase on the way up, so no big deal. And of course,
I think for the same money, you could find one that either was all on one level or had an elevator.
I don't know. That was only. I looked it up. I mean, I got it as a package deal, but I looked the hotel up tonight. It was $56 a night.
Yeah.
And that was, my room was 2 queen beds, so that was pretty good. But it was just in really nice shape. It was spotless. The thing was clean.
Country Inns is a pretty good name from what I remember staying in hotels.
Austin, that chain is a pretty good chain.
Yeah.
So, and there was like a Motel 6 or something right across the parking lot.
Yeah, there was a Motel 6 and another hotel. They're like a Best Western, I think.
Yeah. I think I got the better one of the three. Yeah, I got that through Orbitz, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'd be worth, I don't know, scouting around town and seeing like best hotel for the money or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if there's one that, I can find the owner of who'll make us a deal.
Yeah, at least all my lights had bulbs in them.
Yeah. As opposed to Ghost, who had to share his bulb with his neighbor.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, they couldn't catch a break. And the kitchen was nice, and the food was. If you got up early, the food was okay.
That's breakfast at all those places. It's like if you get there at 6, the breakfast is awesome. If you get there at 10 and they're still serving breakfast, that's probably not going to be good, especially if it's eggs that have been sitting in a warmer or whatever.
Yeah, they've been laying around. Though the second night they had biscuits and gravy, but I don't eat that stuff. So
that's like a staple for hotels around here in like Oklahoma and Texas. It's
but
just
they do the
cheap to do
waffle thing, and they had 4 or 5 different kinds of cereal, and they had fruit and other. I mean, they just had all the standard stuff you'd expect. In fact, I snagged they had free cookies, so I snagged a couple cookies every day. And the days they had sausage, I grabbed sausage for G's dog.
Yeah.
And the coffee was excellent. I don't know who made it, but it was really good coffee. And a lot of places don't put out decaf coffee.
Yeah.
So that was nice. So I was really happy with. I mean, the hotel and the flights only cost me, with tax and everything, it was $605.
Yeah.
And that's 3 nights because I came in Friday night and left Monday.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So I had 3 nights of lodging and a round trip airfare. It was only $600.
And that included 3 meals too. So
yeah, that was breakfast every day.
That's $30 right there, pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it's only $8 or $9 a day for breakfast, and I was sneaking some out.
I'm just saying, doing it there versus like going to breakfast someplace, you'll spend $10 easy.
Oh shit, yeah. I only ate at the show. All I had was like a 12-inch corn dog.
Yeah.
And soda, and I had that the first day, and the second day they had bagels at the breakfast all wrapped up already, so I just grabbed one of those and a tub of butter and shoved it in my pocket and ate that for lunch.
There used to be some place out there that sold like boxed sandwiches or something like that. It was like a ham sandwich and chips in like a paper box or something.
Lower level.
That was actually pretty good and pretty cheap. Like they did that for vendors. Usually, like brought a cart around trying to sell them.
Yeah, I mean, they were pissing and moaning about the cost of the food, but the
honestly,
portions were pretty decent.
Like not having to leave that show is worth something.
Yeah.
Because just having to like go to your car, leave, and then find a parking space on the way back, and then come back in.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
And G had the booth right next to the John, and I hate to tell you, but the John wasn't in that bad a shape. Now I didn't use the actual toilet, so
you were also on the better side of the show too.
Oh.
Yeah, there's the toilets over on that side of the show aren't the high traffic ones.
Oh. Well, that's good.
The ones on our side over there by that main concession get like, I don't know, 10 times as many people.
Yeah, because you guys have a much larger concession area.
Larger concession, larger entrance, and there's a, what's it called, an eating area there, so people hang out there.
Oh, yep, where they can sit down and stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, though. It's a good show. I had a lot of fun. If we do it again, I don't know if I'd do it in April or not. I'd actually kind of like to drive down. I know flying was not that bad, but I just like the idea of having my van with me and being able to put anything in the back of it I want to.
Oh, I agree with that. Like, I don't know how you could leave that show. Like, if you went there to buy without like some sort of vehicle.
Yeah. But it worked out good. That big old Voight case really worked out well.
I'm glad you saw that. That was actually a pretty good deal on that thing too, from what I've seen.
Yeah, shit.
What?
What kind of case?
So like a Voight Pelican case.
Oh, okay.
But it was really big. We actually got 3 long guns in it, and one of them was actually just a shade too long. That frickin' Vetterli is really long.
You had to take some of the foam out, didn't you?
I had to take the center. You know, it's got foam in the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the middle foam you're supposed to carve based on what guns you're leaving in there. So we had to take the middle foam out. So the guns rattled around a little bit, but I took some of that packing material that G had, wrapped it around key spots to keep them from beating each other up.
Yeah.
But I got the foam home. I don't know if they told you, but I bought some tape from the guy next to us at G's booth. They had the good tape with the fiberglass reinforcement in it.
Yeah.
And I taped it down. I taped the foam right to the box.
Huh.
But when I got to the airport, they made me open everything up and prove that it wasn't loaded.
Yeah.
So I had to hack it off. But luckily, I had kept the roll and stuck it in my carry-on bag. So I just retaped everything after that. And I actually got the piece of foam all the way home with no rips or tears.
I actually had an interesting conversation today with an airport cop, and he was telling me that you had to open up your bags and show that the guns weren't loaded and all that.
Yeah, that's what happened in Tulsa. That did not happen to me in Hartford.
Yeah.
When I went out in Hartford, they just took my word for it.
That and if you're in Tulsa and like have a pocket knife or whatever, be sure to not forget that thing, because they like fine you $3,500 for that now.
Oh wow!
For forgetting a pocket knife in your pocket. I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's the problem, because the gal was like, open it up, and it's like, oh great, now I got to try to figure out how to get the tape, the fiberglass reinforced tape open. But luckily, I had my keys on me, and I just used my keys to saw through it. But that was minor. I got, I tried to make sure G got me there a couple hours ahead of time, so I had plenty of time to deal with all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I had the best drive home, because I went up after I went through security and all that shit. I found a nice bar that served great nachos, had a couple of Guinnesses, and then got on the plane and slept all the way home.
That's good.
Heck yeah.
And that worked out really well.
That's the one thing about you, Epps. You don't drink beer, or at least not like I drink beer.
Well, most of the guys don't drink at all.
Yeah.
Because most of them, I think, they were driving too, and it was late at night. So I was the only one that really,
I had that margarita with you.
Yeah, you and I had the margaritas at the Mexican place. And then when we went to the Italian place, I had the half a carafe of wine.
Yeah.
So
I'm just not a wine guy. It gives me a headache.
Oh,
I think it's like the sulfates or something.
I like sangria, but only if it's good sangria. Other than that, I don't really like wine type stuff.
Oh, well, I'll drink pretty much anything that's in front of me, so it's no problem there.
Yeah. I tell you what,
I like the hard shit. I actually really like a good whiskey if I can get.
That's me too. I like Scotch.
I'm a bourbon guy.
I'm not really a beer wine guy.
I'm a bourbon guy myself.
Yeah, if I gotta drink whiskey, it's gonna be Crown Royal.
That's because you're Canadian.
Canadian.
I'll tell you, my sister and I went to Ireland earlier this year, and I got spoiled with their single malts, man.
Yeah, a good single malt Scotch is freaking awesome.
I've got a couple of bottles of a whiskey they do not market here in the United States called Writer's Tears, and that stuff is just as smooth as glass. It's delicious.
Yeah. Well, I used to Glenfiddich, just to try.
All the Glens are
I
good.
like Glenfiddich, actually.
Glenmara, all the Glens are good.
Like, was it Glenmorangie? Something like that?
Yeah, well, there's a Glenmora.
Yeah.
That's pretty good shit.
I don't know if they sell it anywhere but Michigan, but Traverse City Whiskey Company makes a bourbon, and it is my favorite bourbon. It's like it's only like $32 a bottle.
You guys ever had much moonshine?
Yeah,
A
I
little
love
bit here and there.
Like depending on who makes it, that shit can be pretty damn good.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Or
the
make it
apple
taste like
pie
rubbing
stuff they
alcohol.
make with apple juice and cinnamon.
Yeah, the pie stuff.
Yeah, they market a brand of whiskey up here called the Cheap Whiskey Man by the Trailer Park Boys. That is bad whiskey. It is just raw shit.
Hey, I got the
trailer
whiskey
park
too,
boys, man.
Bob. In Vermont, they make a whiskey. It's actually a bourbon, and it has maple flavoring in it, and it is delicious.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Now, that actually might be interesting.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Maybe I'll bring a bottle if we, if you're going to go next time.
Yeah.
Well, especially if we're all going to be at a hotel or whatever, and not like all driving around town.
Yeah, then if you want to have one, you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring a
I'll
bottle.
tell you, I can't imagine these guys when they've been drinking. Holy shit!
It was bad enough sober.
Oh, you know what? I've actually seen G-Webs a couple times have a couple of drinks, and it's pretty funny.
Well, see, G and I both like grew up around alcoholics from the conversation we had, and like that's just, I don't know, it kind of kills a lot of that.
Yeah.
It does, but once in a while, you just gotta like take the ties off.
Yeah.
My dad was a teetotaler. He never drank at all.
I was up until a couple of years ago.
Well, my dad, I never knew my dad to drink, but apparently before I was born, he drank and was quite the wild man. So I got to hear stories about it, but I never actually saw it. Most he would ever do is if we'd been bailing all day, he would split a beer with me when I was like 15 or 16. I worked all day with him, and that was like the most I ever saw him drink.
My dad was a raging alcoholic before I was born. He quit drinking when my mom got pregnant with me, and then when I was about 12, he started drinking again, and now he's been a raging alcoholic ever since.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
He quit for like 12 years, but he's like, I'm talking, he keeps a puke can next to his bed. Like,
oh yeah, that's bad.
That's some serious shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, like I'm bad. I drink, 8 to 12 beer a night.
He drinks a fifth a night.
Yeah, well, and that's about the same alcohol content actually. But yeah, it's I drink light beer, and I don't like I don't drink until I'm done driving or I'm not going anywhere, and then I will not get behind the wheel of the vehicle if I've even had one beer. I just don't do that. I refuse to.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm that way on the bike. In the car, it's like not so much.
I mean, I'll go to lunch. I'll take my family to lunch or dinner or whatever, and I'll have one drink, but I pound it as soon as I get there, and then I got an hour to eat. And whatever.
See, something like that, that's reasonable. You see, when I was like 18, 19, I rode motorcycles, and I used to go to the bar and get just hammered, eh? And I justify it by going, hey, I'm on a bike. The only one's going to die is me. But I crazy shit. Like, I would just go, I hate these red lights, and I'd just crank the bike up and zip through the red lights at 120 mile an hour. Going, theory, the logic in my mind was, I'm going through so fast, the odds on me intersecting a car are next to nothing, right? At 3 a.m. kind of thing. But yeah, still just crazy shit. Like, I shouldn't be alive. I literally destroyed 5 motorcycles.
We agree. You shouldn't be alive.
Yeah. And I mean, a couple of cars.
You're still here?
Yeah, before I was 25. And then just like something happened that straightened my life right out. Didn't have to do with Jesus or anything like that, but it was a serious life-changing moment. And yeah, I've never done shit like that since, right? Just
Bob, you need Jesus.
I thought I've been an atheist my whole life since I was a little kid.
I heard that Jesus
and lately,
is the driver.
As you get older, you start thinking about shit like that.
It's because you're closer to death than I am, hopefully.
No, probably not, man. The way my luck goes, I'll get to be 120, and the day after I die, they'll discover the injection that makes you 30 again.
My buddy Troy, he had a 3-wheeler, and he'd had it since he was like 17 or something. And so he had it for like 20 years. And then one day he was drunk as hell, and him and his cousin were out chasing each other around. His cousin had a dirt bike, and he was on his 3-wheeler in like a cornfield or whatever. And he totally wiped out, broke his neck, blasted his lips apart, whatever he hit his face on. Like they had to like sew his bottom lip back on. Like it was bad. He don't even remember crashing it at all.
Damn.
Still got the 3-wheeler. He loves it. Still, he put it back together and was on it before he even had like the neck brace off.
Well,
gotta get back on it.
He had like a halo, like holding his head in place, and he was back on it before he even had like his freaking hardware off.
yeah, I rode motorcycles up until I was 50 something, and I still have 2 like stupidly fast motorcycles, but they need to get repaired, and I don't have the money right now. I burned the valve out of one, and then the other one just needs a really good thorough tune-up and shit, and I haven't had time or energy and shit. But yeah, I still own them.
Did you get your camper van put back together?
No, I had some bad problems with that. Okay. Yeah, that just turned out to be. I think I was still thinking I was 30 years old, and once I started like having to pick that engine up, plus it's got to the point where I've got the engine picked up enough that probably I could get at the nuts, but it's just so problematic. It's I have to hire someone to do the work because like I got one hand doesn't work properly anymore, and my left hand doesn't work anymore, or kind of half works. And
I was unaware of
I just, honest to God, man, I came to the realization that I'm old, and I just can't do shit I used to be able to do when I was in my 20s and 30s and even 40s. I mean, it's
like have sex.
Actually,
that part's still working really good.
That's the definition of getting older, when it takes all night to do what you used to do all night.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the problem, right? Like I went out there the other day, and I spent 4 hours, trying to like get these nuts off the bolts off the oil pan, and it was like 2 hours of getting the engine lifted up enough, and then making sure I had blocks under there so if the hydraulics went, it wouldn't crush my hands, and all that, and go through all that, and then realize, oh crap, now I got to take the starter off. I got to pull the motor mounts right off. I can't just undo them and lift the motor. The motor mounts actually have to come off. And it was just like, Christ almighty. I mean, yeah, you could do it, but it makes more sense to pull the whole motor out. And
you need a lifter to lift the engine, don't you?
No, I have one. I have a cherry picker and everything there. That's what I'm lifting the engine with now. But the problem is I have no place to put it inside because it's too tall to fit in any of the shops that I have access to. So it's like, oh crap. And like,
just get a tarp and just do it in the barn.
I did that. I built a tarp thing over the front of it, but even then you can't block the wind from the underside. So even with a big propane heater going under the tarp, when you're working underneath, you got to wear insulated coveralls and shit, and that means you can barely get under the front cross member. So you're super restricted. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you should have done it this summer instead of waited for the winter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was waiting 2 weeks for it to cool down, and then it ended up cooling down too much.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is when Bob waits 2 weeks for something, it turns into like 6 months.
Big time. I screwed up. I procrastinated and screwed it up. So I'm really. It's pissing me right off, right? Because I mean I had a good motor to throw in it. I could have just easily, if I'd just said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But I had other people telling me, man, the motor's got 37, or basically 30,000 miles on it. Like, why pull the motor out and replace it? You can just lift it up and drop the oil pan and replace the one gasket that's bad. Originally, we thought we were going to have to replace the main seal on the front of the engine, but it turned out just to be a gasket on the oil pan. So it's like, oh, well, this is easy, right? No need to, rush into it. Got lots of time. It's really hot now. So anyway, it was just like I screwed myself. Like no ifs, ands, buts, and it procrastination and everything else. But yeah, it was. Now I'm paying for it, and it's like, damn. But now I know next spring, as soon as it warms up, I'm going to start pulling that motor and get it out, and then I'll just replace all the gaskets on it. I don't think I need to put rings and bearings in it.
So next spring, when it starts to warm up, what is that, about July?
No.
It's more like October of next year.
No. It'll actually be, let's see, about April, May, I'll be able to start work on it. And then, yeah, it's going to be just pull it out, get the gaskets changed, put it back in, put it back together. There's other stuff that needs to be done on it too, right? It's I want to put a fuel injection on it, get rid of the carburetor, maybe get some more mileage. I want to build a new back bumper with a rack. So I mean, now I don't have to rush it, but at the same time, it means now I have to go and beg my sister to borrow me her fifth wheel trailer for 3 months.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, it's like, well, I did it to myself, so can't blame anybody but me.
Yeah. Well, it's getting on to be 2 a.m. here on the East Coast, so I'm thinking of shutting this down.
Oh, that's cool, man.
All right, Cycle. We'll see you.
See ya.
Take her easy, Cycle.
Well, it's my chat. That was my point.
Yeah.
Oh, he's kicking us out.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'll tell you, I can.
There's a lobby chat going, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a
I can leave it running if you like. It's no problem for me if you prefer me to just leave it up.
No, there's a lobby chat. That's fine.
Yeah, we can just jump in the lobby. But thanks for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for hosting. I thought this was a lobby when I jumped in.
Yeah.
Well, it is sorta. You're gonna have to get. Well, I think Strike can take care of it for you.
Yeah. But
Knives has a chat out there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's already a chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get the link for that though?
Yeah, but thanks, Cycle. I don't know if this was originally supposed to be everybody who'd been at the chat, but it was cool that, or everybody who'd been at the gun show, but it was cool that it eventually became that because, that pissed Dano off. Because he was telling me in the chat, Bob, it's only for guys who were at the chat right now, or were at the gun show this year. And I was going, well, I don't think anybody said that, Dano. So
I just saw a link.
Dano wasn't at the gun show this year.
On it, like, hey, there's a chat. I'm getting in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just I ignored Dano, and it pisses
Pants
me
is working on a. Looks like Pants is working on another chat. I'll wait until he gets his cranked up before I shut this off.
Oh, okay, cool, man.
Yeah, you can cut this out later.
All this shit talking about Dano.
Well, I would actually cut out anything night strike.
And all this Bob talk too.
Oh, fuck Dano. You know what? Dano and I are good. He knows that I'm just bugging him, and well, at least I hope he does.
You're being an annoying Canadian. Yes, he knows.
I hope he's not going to turn into another good guy with a gun and threaten to shoot me if I come near him.
Well, the good thing is, Bob's Canadian, so he's 30% less aggravating than a regular American.
Apparently. I don't know. I'm so close to being an American. It's silly. Well, because I come from Western Canada, and we're so different out here than.
Well, honestly, I wish central part of America and Western Canada could form their own country. That then the East and West Coast and Quebec and Montreal and all that bullshit could go be their own country. I think we'd all be happier.
Probably, yeah.
My wife, she runs a Subway, and very regularly she gets hockey teams that are in the area for like hockey tournaments or whatever. She
Yep.
gets them in the
They're all
coming
about
from
that
Canada,
sandwich.
and she
All
says
about that
every
sandwich.
time they're all assholes. And she said this one time somebody said sub sauce, and that's not a thing here. Closest thing we have is Italian dressing. And my wife didn't know what sub sauce was. She's like, we don't have that. And the person literally goes, Americans.
Well, when you're standing in America,
Yeah. She's like, Americans. And then like the HR lady at work, she's Canadian, and like she's a total bitch. So yeah, I'd say Bob's pretty American compared to the other Canadians I have had dealings with.
I will give Bob credit. Bob is the nicest Canadian I know. I've known like 25 other Canadians, unfortunately, and they've all been assholes.
That's because you know Eastern Canadians, and
Yeah, that's the nicest Canadian I know.
freely admit that Eastern Canadians are assholes. I was married to one.
We were talking about this that night at the show.
A majority of them have been from Manitoba, though.
All the ones that I've known that were assholes talked like French people and were from Quebec or wherever.
I've only known one from Quebec, but he's not actually. His family isn't from there, though. They moved there, and he grew up with the accent. It's hilarious.
No, we call him Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Pants has the new hangout rolling, and it's linked into the lobby. So
all right, let's leave Bob.
All right, cool, Cycle.
Thank
you.
Get off my lawn.
Have yourself a good sleep, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
See you later.